So, onto our festive street talk then. We've got some clickbait for the first time in a few weeks, Gemma. Jonathan has been sending it, but we've been recording a little bit early. And bless him, he sent today's clickbait on Christmas Day because he wanted to make sure it got here for this episode. So thank you very much, Jonathan,
That's
for
really
that.
nice
We've got
of you.
3 headlines for you to have some guessing about today, Gemma. The first of which comes from The Mirror, who ran an article this week saying Coronation Street fans predict major retcon for Eva Price amid baby bombshell. What could this major retcon be
That she
predicted?
didn't have an abortion.
No.
That she...
One might say that this baby has been a bit of a retcon, but not really.
I don't get it.
No, it hasn't, has it at all? Go on, right. What's the retcon then going on here?
I don't get it.
What
could it be then? You tell me.
Oh, is that your one and only guess?
What could it be?
Okay, it's to do with Susie.
Susie is a ghost.
No. Susie is really the child of Adam. Yeah, exactly. Glad they haven't gone down that route, but you never know, it still could happen, couldn't it? Okay, Manchester Evening News this week, Gemma. Coronation Street, Sally Carman jokes co-star husband is a problem in Christmas admission.
Well, we know she's married to
Joe Datine,
who is the actor behind the odious Tim.
Yes.
So perhaps she has listened to this podcast and realised that Tim is terrible. And now whenever she looks at her dear husband, she just sees the horrible face of Tim.
No, this is a Christmas admission, Gemma. And it's not to do with him odious having too many sprouts either.
He eats too much food.
No.
He's not going to fit into his costume.
No. What do you think that's kind of a problem? Knowing Sally Carman,
he doesn't like Christmas.
He doesn't, not as much as her. Yeah, he's not full of the Christmas spirit.
Nobody likes Christmas more than Sally Carman, the Christmas queen.
Apparently, he's a bit of a miser. Well, no, not a miser. Just a bit of a grinchy grouch when it comes to all things Christmas.
I can't imagine.
I don't know how she could put up with that because you're right. She is the most Christmassy person that we know.
Well, we're not gonna. Yeah, I don't. Look. You like many things that I don't care about.
Like?
Honestly,
don't say Coronation Street.
Coronation Street.
This is not true. What am I? Odious woman.
Computers.
There we go. Well,
computer games.
I don't know.
Don't care about.
I don't know how they
can
keep this relationship going. To be honest, I would have thought that would come between them.
Let's not predict any terrible problems.
She puts her Christmas tree up in October or something, doesn't she?
Look? Not to get in the way of somebody's relationship here, even though people do this to us all the time, and obviously it must be a national hobby, international hobby at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Could it be that her enthusiasm for Christmas is beginning to make him hate it?
Oh, it could do, couldn't it?
Because I don't know if I could cope with 3 months of Christmas, even though I like it.
Well, you never know. Well, good job that they've got more going for them than just that, isn't it?
I do think that the relationship can't be based on Christmas in any way, shape or form.
No, it probably didn't come up on their first date, did it?
Everybody has terrible habits, don't they? I can only imagine what his are.
Okay, Digital Spy had an article this week saying Coronation Street star addresses Sam Blakeman recast confusion. What's that all about?
People think he's been recast as Sam because he looks different.
Yes.
He's grown up a little bit.
Yeah, not the most exciting of headlines, that one, or stories even, but they make a
Spy.
story out of anything, these journos, won't they?
Yeah.
If anyone's seen Jude Riordan recently, please do tell us, because he's certainly not been on Coronation Street. No, on his Instagram, he posted something last week saying, last day of filming before Christmas, and yeah, he's shot up and he's beanpoled it.
He's very much like the actor in Changing Ends. Season 3.
Yes.
He looks different as a grown up.
We have seen barely any Sam Blakeman this year, which, I am very disappointed about because I do love a bit of Sam. It's so funny. He's 100% not a cute little wee chubby kid anymore, is he? He's a proper teenager. I'm sure he's still lovely, but...
It's so funny when you're a kid, and one of my biggest memories of being a kid is adults always saying to me, "Oh, you're growing up so much. You look so much. Oh, you." And it's like, "Oh yeah, I know. That's what I do. I'm a kid. That's what my job is." But then when you're an adult and you like acquaintances with a child, and then you see them every few years, you're like, "Bloody hell, what happened to you?"
And it really does feel like it's been that long between Sam Blakeman appearances this year. Literally, when was the last time we saw him? Summer, possibly. At least the fact that he's been filming before Christmas means it's not going to be too long before we see him on our screens again. And God, you never know, we might even get some Toya appearances alongside him as well.
Yeah, she's great.
If we're lucky.
Changed very
anyway,
much.
That is this week's Corrie Clickbait. Thank you very much to Jonathan and our lovely friends, the soap journalists, for making such fantastic puns. Not puns, headlines. Speaking of puns, I was trying to segue in there,
Michael's
Gemma.
so excited about
but
this.
I have promised Gemma some festive, Christmassy pun storyline titles for this week's Going On in Coronation Street, and I tell you, some of them are quite good and some of them aren't, but I was determined to make them all Christmas themed, so you gotta forgive a little bit of stretching of kind of any kind of sense here, but you're not allowed to look on the screen when I read them out. Okay, so
I've got my hand up.
So we're going to start off this week with the Driscolls story.
Yeah.
This is quite a good one, actually. I think they get worse. So the Driscolls story this week is called "It Was Christmas Eve, Babe." Because it's about Eva and there's a baby in it.
Yeah,
and that was the music for this week's Coronation Street. We were, it's right, you can put it down for a minute. Did anybody else play the game of guess the song that Corrie's Christmas montage was going to be on Christmas Day? Because we started the theme tune going, didn't we? And I was like, pause, okay, Jem, what's it going to be this year?
Who's going to be on it first?
Who's going to be on first? And I got that right by saying it was the Driscolls, but none of us guessed this song, although we probably should have been, because it did get a shout out a couple of weeks ago, didn't it, with it being Carla's fave.
Oh, I didn't guess it because they already did this.
They've done them all, literally.
No, there's so many Christmas songs.
Oh, I was just trying to think.
Feliz Navidad.
Oh, I bloody hate that song.
Feliz
bloody
Navidad.
hate that song.
Michael hates that song so
That's
much.
my worst Christmas song. Why do they do it? Is it a point now where somebody has come along and said, maybe we shouldn't start the Christmas Day episode with a Christmas montage? And they've said, no, we've got to. Or do they think, oh, it's Christmas, yeah, let's do it, and everyone's on board with it? Because I am really sick of it. It's been probably, I'm going to say, a good 15 years where every year...
Are you sure?
Yeah, I would make that claim. Maybe even longer. I think it's been a good almost 20 years since they first started doing it, and they kind of ease their toe into the water of it the first few years, and now they're just full on every single bloody year, starting off with Christmas montage. And I don't have a huge problem with it, but it just is so super predictable, and I wouldn't mind that they did something to change it up a little bit one year. I don't know, is it bugging you as much as it does me?
Absolutely not.
This year's theme was transition through the Christmas tree, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was neat.
Yeah, I can't remember who the director was this week, but yeah, they were going left and right and getting to the Christmas tree and then popping out of someone else's Christmas tree.
Like, whoa!
Yeah.
I predicted Carla would be the first, but I think she ended up being the last.
No, well, yeah, she was, because I quite
poignant.
Yeah, because they had I think they had the Metcalves and the Platts and some of the various others during the slow intro, and then when it started going then I had Carla in the closet with a dressing gown cord stuffed in her gob. It was.
Oh, it's making my mouth feel dry.
It's just a little bit pointless, I think. But anyway, that's
humbug.
me Scrooging my way through the first one. So
yes, and that's right, Scrooge, not the Grinch.
Right, Christmas Eve,
we have Father Christmas here, and we have Scrooge. We do not have Grinch, and we do not have Santa Claus.
I saw something on the news about that yesterday, about various regions of the UK, and apparently in Scotland it's all about Santa.
Well, they're a law unto themselves.
Right, Gemma, cover your eyes again. I want to get on to the next.
They do what they want up there, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Right, so the Christmas Eve, Babe is our first storyline title. Then we have got the goings on with Lisa and Carla and Becky, and this week we are calling that Swarla la 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 la. Yeah. I think that was the first one I came up with, and the rest just sprang from there.
I got one.
What?
Away in a Swanger.
Yeah, or how about Beck the Halls? We're going to be one, and it's swalla la 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 this week. Okay, next up we've got we got Abby and we got Carl and James.
Can I put my hand down?
No, you can't.
It hurts
Right,
my
the rest of them
elbow.
aren't anywhere near as good, but I'm calling this one a Christmas Carol. It's a little bit of a snort from you
Walking
there.
Dead fans will appreciate that.
What? Oh, why?
Because, well, Andrew Lincoln, he was in Love Actually, so
Yeah.
he's got a Christmas link there. He played a character whose son was called Carl, and as we know, he is English, but he was playing an American, and so he used to call this kid Coral.
Carl. Yeah, a Christmas Carol is the next storyline. Okay, up next we have got Yule Todd greetings. How did they go worse?
Yule Todd greetings. Okay.
I was close to going, make the Yule Todd gay, but I thought, no,
No.
that's too insensitive.
We can't
That's
have
too
that.
one of those. Can't have that at all. And then with David and Shona, we have our festive platter.
Oh no! Oh my god!
You're giving genuine laughs for all of these. I'm loving it.
This is stupid.
And we'll finish off with a couple of Christmas celebrations. There we go. Okay, that's me done for the week. Thank you for listening to episode 712 of Coronation Street.
Stop quit while we're ahead, I think.
Right, Gemma.
That's made me cry.
Thank you. Right, who's going to start?
So stupid.
I know it is.
How long did it
It's
take
time
you?
for Christmas. Surprisingly, not that long actually. I could have bashed that out in about 10 minutes
wow.
last night. Would you like to?
You'd never tell.
Would you like to take the Driscoll action, or would you like to?
I need to blow my nose.
Oh my gosh, live nose blowing.
No, hang on. Just pause it.
Pause for the nose blow.
There we go.
Unpause. Oh my
We are
gosh, what a
professionals.
disgusting nose blowing
We're
that
professionals
was.
here. We don't
Blurbly.
do-
Right. Yeah. Do you want to do Eva or do you want to do Carla and Lisa?
I think I'll do Carla and Lisa.
Oh, okay.
Why?
It sounded like you didn't trust me.
No, I don't.
Like I was going to say something
They're loose
terrible.
cannon.
Okay. So this week,
Maybe it is a good idea that you do the Swarla one.
why?
I want to know what you're going to say.
No, you do it. You do
Alright,
it.
okay.
Right. So Driscolls. This is where the main action was at this week, wasn't it? And it was a bit of a bold
dear
move
me.
from Kate Brooks to put this brand new family in the centre of the main drama on Christmas Day. Do you think that was a wise decision?
I mean, you're saying that as though Carla and Lisa are established, as a couple. They've only had one Christmas before this one.
We didn't even get to see last year's Christmas, did we?
so
At
the
a pizza
main-
party.
The main two storylines, actually three, they're all new characters, really, aren't they?
There was a lot of new characterness.
If you had say you'd skipped all of this year and the previous year and you watched this year's Corrie at Christmas, you wouldn't really know.
I
quite
recognise
a lot of
Carla, but what
people.
else is going on here?
Yeah, exactly.
And Eva, is
And
she back?
Eva, yeah.
So, Eva, I've been kind of saying the last couple of weeks, I don't know whether I've said it on the podcast or whether I've just said to you, that she's not really necessarily felt very Eva-ish. And
She's taking a back seat.
she's been taking a back seat, and it's almost like it could be anybody. So they brought in the Driscolls, and the link to the street that we knew was Eva, and everyone else was brand new. But honestly, there's been so little exploration of Eva's past on the street that it might as well be a completely different character. Even the fact that they tokenistically threw in Leanne and Toya on her first day to say, oh look, it's the three sisters back together again. We've not seen hide nor hair of that since, and we're coming up on nearly 2 months of them being on the show. So
I didn't even get a look in on Christmas Day.
I didn't get a
Leanne
look in
and
on Christmas
Toya.
Day.
Boo.
I don't know what Toya would have made of Maggie's bird within a bird within a bird, but Alia did have her festive nut roast or what have you, didn't she? So she could have always shared that.
I really, really would have liked to have seen Maggie reacting to Toya's vegan/vegetarianism.
She's
on
not
Christmas.
vegan. She's not vegan.
I don't think Coronation Street is decided, because sometimes she is and sometimes she's not.
I don't think so. I think it's just the fans that say she's vegan. Anyway, so I've been thinking that Eva might as well be anybody. So at least this week we have had some kind of shout out to the fact that she's been here before. She's got a link with Adam. He's not necessarily the character that I would have liked to have re-explored the relationship with. I'd much preferred it to be with the Battersbys, but at least it's something, I suppose. We also had a lot more of the Will saga, didn't we? Which I'm going to get to, seeing what we think about that when the action really hots up. And the week started with Megan leaving Daniel's flat, and she's having her cake and eating it there, isn't she?
She's got 8 puddings on the go.
She's like going seriously undercover to keep this relationship with Will a secret. I mean,
she's obviously falling for Daniel, isn't she?
I think that she must be a little bit. She's saying to Will, "Oh no, I'm only doing it so that nobody finds out about us." But come on.
I wonder what she's not that old, is she? She's mid-20s, wouldn't you say? I wonder how many relationships she's actually had with an adult who is a similar age to her. Like, maybe she's never had a relationship with a grown man. And so when she actually's having one, she's like, oh, actually, this is great because he can drive. He can, like, he understands what taxes are.
He can go to the pub together.
Yeah, like, there are many benefits and, you know, many benefits to dating someone your own age. She's a grown person.
Yeah, obviously she's a little bit embarrassed when Eva catches her and says, look, don't tell anybody about this. She just doesn't want Will finding out, does she?
Anybody about
the fact that I've been in Daniel's flat. Yeah, she doesn't want Will finding out, because I do believe that she has, you know, twisted, warped, genuine feelings for Will. But yeah, I think you're right that there's not a whole lot of acting going on with what she's how she's acting around old Daniel here.
It's really difficult to talk about this because you never want to give any impression that you approve of any of it.
No, I'm not endorsing.
You can't just keep saying
the Will and Meghan shit
every time we mention her feelings about something. It's not an endorsement. I can't keep giving disclaimers that I don't support paedophiles. I think it should be obvious that, you know. So
no, we don't need to, but we can...
I know, but people like to twist things. I'm just saying up front.
I believe that
we condemn her actions.
I believe that she thinks that she loves Will.
Yeah. And
she's not making that up. But like I said, it's twisted.
Oh, I'm looking after him. And also, I don't know that she knows that much about the Driscolls, but once she's seen how Maggie acts, I can also imagine her being like, well, somebody's got to look out for you, and it's me, you know, I'm protecting you from your horrible family.
Yeah, possibly. So we got the pub next, and Susie's going on about wanting a baby sister or a brother, and Eva's not really wanting to engage in discussion about this. At this point, we still don't know why, and I think this kind of ties into why I was a little bit let down about the actual Christmas Day episode, and it's not a new thing for me at all. I always hype up in my brain, the Christmas Day episode, there's going to be explosions and there's going to be revelations and there's going to be all twists and it's going to kick things off for a new year, and so often it's not. But I think putting my finger on what it was that didn't sit right with me on Christmas Day, it was the main drama revolved around a story that had only been set up that week. And we'd had all these other ones bubbling on for weeks, for months now. So the Becky story, obviously what's going on with Carl and James. And I would have thought it would have felt better to have had those having their big climax on Christmas Day rather than just... In a way, it almost felt like, and I know this isn't what happened, that they got to the beginning of Christmas week and go, oh, blimey, we need to have something big and dramatic happening on Thursday, don't we? Should we set something up now? You know what I mean?
I completely understand what you're saying. I wonder if it's a strategy to capture the audience that tunes in on Christmas Day, who doesn't normally watch it, but ends up having to be roped in with their family. And therefore, instead of having... I mean, some of it's still going to be like this, but instead of having a really convoluted explanation of like 9 months worth of plot to have context to know what the heck is going on in this scene,
yeah, it could be.
You just go, oh, earlier in the week, da 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 da.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think I see what you're saying, because we get to in a minute the Swarla story, but that didn't get resolved. It was this story like that had the centre stage and had a bit of a development.
Yeah,
big
they
development.
started and exploded within the case of 3 or 4 days.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So anyway,
you're right about.
I think that's why it didn't feel quite so satisfying to me.
And it was compounded by the fact that it's a new family we've only known for 2 months.
Yes, yeah. And
if it was a new revelation about some characters that you'd known for years, you wouldn't notice as much.
I mean, it was in a way, and the main revelation revolved around Eva, who has been a known quantity on Coronation Street for over a decade. But again, it was based around things that supposedly went on off screen when she wasn't in the show. Well, I don't know, but maybe that's just me being grumpy about it. Only slightly, just a little bit down, like a little tilt of the thumb.
Twitch.
Yeah. Anyway, so Eva, as I say, doesn't want to really talk about this possibility of having a new baby sibling for Susie, although Ben seems to like the idea. Carl later is telling Maggie that somebody found Eva's credit card in one of the hotel rooms. So she's kind of like, oh, what's going on there then? Obviously, this is from when Will was there the other week with Megan. But then,
this is what gets Maggie investigating.
Yes. This is kind of where also when the camera kind of starts zooming in on Carla and realise something serious has happened with him, but that's for another story.
Yeah.
So Adam later on finds Eva at the back of the Rovers, and he can tell she's upset about something, and she's saying, oh, I'm just not a very nice person. This is probably the most Eva we've had since she's come back, hasn't she? She's been very much in the background and a bit of a supporting character.
Being
so I suppose
sniped at.
Yeah, I suppose it was nice at least that she got her time in the spotlight this week. So meanwhile, you got Maggie telling Ben about the credit card. He obviously knows the fact that Will was there last week, and he's been keeping it a secret from her, so he keeps stuck on this as well.
He's not surprised.
Oh no, he doesn't. He doesn't. Sorry, I completely misremembered what happened here.
What?
He takes Maggie out the back and he tells her about finding Will with Chloe the other day, and she's not happy about him keeping it a secret that her grandson's sneaking around with girls. So he's still not telling her. No, at this point he's told her everything that
he knows.
He does know, doesn't he? Because he thinks that it's Chloe. So this is all kind of going on and going back and forth with Eva and Adam and their story. We're not going to tell you exactly everything that's happening yet, but we're talking about something that we know of and you will soon come to know, viewers.
Yeah, exactly. Do you think at some point... We've not met Chloe, have we?
No.
Do you think at some point... I predict that Daniel and Megan will get together properly. She'll dump Will, and then Will will go out with Chloe and to try to make Megan jealous. That's my prediction.
Mate, that does seem like quite a childish thing to do. I don't think that Megan could give two hoots if Will's dating Chloe. She'd probably be happy. I
really genuinely don't think so. I think that she would get jealous.
Well, I thought you were going to predict there that Chloe comes into it, and then Maggie or Ben refers to, oh, remember that time that you were in the hotel room with Will? And she's like, no, I wasn't.
That would happen.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe Chloe for 2026.
We're just writing it for them now, aren't we?
Anyway, so Eva's saying to Adam, oh, I can't believe I kept it from him for so long. And Adam said, oh, you had to. You didn't have a choice. What is it? Did you have... What were you kind of...
We were all talking, weren't we?
All of me and you. Oh, this was when Rachel was here as well, wasn't it?
And we were saying she's had an abortion. Maybe it was Adam's, maybe it was Ben's. But she had a termination, and maybe now she can't have children. Yeah,
my theory going out of Monday's episode was that in the year that she left, she did spend a little bit of time getting back with Adam again. So this is post Aidan's suicide, and Adam came and comforted her, and then they went off to France together for about a week, and then they came back to the UK for I think it was Aidan's
funeral.
No, it wasn't a funeral. It was a court thing.
You can get in a lot of trouble in France in 1 week.
Yeah, well, exactly. I thought they had it as the land of love, isn't it? I thought they might have been, having their oysters and
buying roulettes
exactly
from the corner shop.
And so I thought that maybe during that period, Adam might have got Eva up the duff, but no. It was apparently up the muck duff, I suppose it would have been if it was Adam. But no, apparently it was something close to that, but not quite. Anyway, Adam was saying that you didn't have any choice. You did it for the right reasons. I told you that at the time. So she says, oh, maybe I could have brought another baby into the world.
It wasn't like they were being super mysterious.
No, there was clearly something going on with
a
potential other baby here.
And I think... it made sense because this is how you would talk about it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't say, oh, do you remember when that happened? And I'm going to specifically explain exactly what happened to two people that knew because they were there.
I wonder how much Adam there's been in scenes with Eva in the last month and a half, because I don't know. Would you have expected them to have brought this up beforehand,
No.
or are we saying maybe they did,
it up?
but it was off screen?
Why would you talk about it?
I suppose
We're
so.
assuming this happened. How long has Eva been out the show? 5 years or 10 years? I've forgotten.
Somewhere in between those two.
7 years.
Something. Yeah.
Say that. I mean, this happened when she said that she and Ben were broken up, so they would have had to have been dating for a while. Mm-hmm. You're not going to talk about it, are you?
I suppose not. I certainly buy the fact that Adam got up to something with Eva that we didn't see, because we've seen neither hide nor hair of him.
Yeah, they were putting this storyline together, going, who's never in it, who could plausibly have done something in the many months they weren't on screen. Yeah. Oh, Adam. I think
this past week has probably been the most we've seen of Adam throughout the entirety of 2025, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not that I'm complaining. He's one of these characters that I just never really... He's not the kind of person that I like. I just don't like his kind of suave, cockish...
He always seems very remote.
Yeah.
He seems like he's like, well, I'm only here, but coincidence.
To me, he doesn't feel like he fits in, and he's been in and out of Corrie loads over the past 20 years or so. But he still, to me, feels like a bit of an outsider, which is one of the reasons I think why I wasn't too invested in him and Sarah getting together. Because it's like, no, Sarah, go out with somebody on the street. That's another point. I wonder whether they will... reveal at some point that Sarah's known about this. Like, was that a bit of, did he tell her no secrets, we're married now, when those two were together?
As at the moment, Adam is living with Daniel.
Maybe
the last
is Adam living with Daniel? I want to know where Alia's living at the moment. I haven't got a clue. Because the last time that we saw her, she was in number 6, wasn't she? But unless she's under the stairs in the lesbian ranch, then I've got no clue. By the way, loved having Evelyn back this week. An unexpected Christmas surprise that was. She had the best lines all week.
Oh, honestly. She was fantastic.
She was so good.
Yeah, because I did the quiz about Daniel this week. It said that he was living with Adam.
Oh, well, maybe they are. I don't know. We don't see them because
he currently lives with Bertie and Adam at 19A Victoria Street.
Okay.
And obviously Adam's asked Alia to move in with him to Kit's old place.
Yes.
Which is going to be an interesting character development for Daniel to have that place to himself. Maybe he's going to ask Megan to move in with him.
Oh yeah, maybe. Well, having Adam in the same block of flats as Sarah, his ex-wife, could also potentially be cause for fireworks should they want to go down that route. No. Anyway. So I will buy the idea that these two were meeting off screen. I do wonder whether Sarah will have anything to do with it, or maybe she doesn't care. Maybe she either she knows, or she might say, "Hang on a minute, you were sneaking around with Eva while we were married." I don't know whether she'd be bothered particularly. Although it doesn't take much to get her feathers ruffled, does it? Anyway, Eva's a little bit more cheered up later on Monday episode, and she's given Adam a bit of a thank you hug, which Susie sees, and Eva says, "Oh, don't worry about it, babes. It's just that hugging a friend, saying thank you to a friend." Then we get Maggie confronting Will about the hotel shenanigans, and he is not happy that his dad's blabbed his little dirty secret, and she says, "Look, are you
being careful?"
What's she say? Are you being careful, or are you playing the old Catholic game of chance?
Oh, no.
She is a bit of a walking Irish cliche, isn't she, Maggie? But there's so few Irish characters on Corrie over the years that I'm going to allow it. I'm still very much enjoying that. And he says, "Look, I'm being safe. Don't worry about it, Nana. Everything's cool." But is he? Are we going to have a Megan pregnancy? Meganancy?
Yeah.
And is it going to be a who's the daddy, Daniel or Will?
Yeah.
When was the last time we had a who's the daddy? It doesn't feel like it's been long enough. But this
Why
story
not?
is just screaming out for it, isn't it?
Rich
Unfortunately.
Well.
I don't want to know.
I do. Who's the daddies?
And I don't want it to be Will. If it's going to be anyway. I don't see Megan staying in the show for a whole lot longer anyway. So maybe it doesn't matter. Anyway, Susie tells Maggie later about the little hug she saw between Eva and Adam. And then at the end of the episode, Maggie's fuming because she sees Eva and Adam holding hands over the bar. Maggie obviously suspects that something's going on here, but Eva's just saying thank you for earlier.
Thank you for being a supportive friend. Of all the people on Coronation Street, I cannot imagine Adam being a supportive friend about anything.
Do you not?
No.
Oh, okay.
It seems too selfish.
He is a bit. There was also a little bit in the episode where Ben tells... Megan comes to the pub and Ben tells her about Chloe as well, which was obviously her. And I don't know, Will says, look, if I did get Megan pregnant, then I'd do my duty because I love her. If I get Chloe pregnant, sorry, that says he didn't just give the game away. So, going into Wednesday then, so Christmas Eva's sitting with Adam in the cafe and he's saying, look, yeah, if you need me to be a shoulder to cry on, that's all fine with me. You're grieving the loss of a baby. So this is when it comes out, because as I say, it was left as a bit of a mystery at the end of Monday's episode exactly what the nature of their little secret was. So she aborted Ben's baby back however many years ago.
When they were broken up.
When they were having a bit of a break. He'd gone back to his wife, hadn't he? And he said to her, look, maybe, you don't want to go through with this pregnancy, but I'll support you with whatever you want to do. And he gives the suggestion that she write a letter to her unborn baby. Now, I think that's a bit of a stupid idea because, as we know, babies can't read. What do you think of it?
Oh, God.
I don't know. I don't know really well whether I want
to... It can be very cathartic to write, to put your thoughts down on paper.
I think some people would find it a little twee, but I can see Eva saying, yeah, just give it a shot.
We're very repressed people, aren't we?
Yeah.
So, it did help her, didn't it?
She obviously went off straight away and did it.
Yeah. I think normally you're supposed to burn them, although is that just for horrible letters that you don't like? I know you're supposed to burn those.
I don't know. What was she planning to do with it? Just keep it around with her in a bag to remind herself.
Attach it to a Chinese lantern.
She could have done. She could have floated it away.
And then set fire to the forest.
That would be the ultimate Corrie coincidence if she'd attached it to a Chinese lantern, let it go during New Year's celebrations, and it just happens to come down and land in Maggie's lap.
Well, I think Maggie has got powers, hasn't she? So
the powers of finding things out.
Yeah. Well, she's got psychic powers.
Oh yes, she can do a cardology.
That reminds me. What her cardology predictions? Do any of them match up to what's?
I don't know actually. I mean, maybe we need to go back and.
It's like you don't take it seriously, Michael. But I'm just going to tell you that psychics in fictional television programs have quite a higher percentage of being correct about things just because of how ironic it is.
Well, the last proper medium that I remember there being on Coronation Street was old
Rosemary.
Rosemary, that's her name, wasn't it? And she was just a massive charlatan, so it's not looking good for Maggie anyway.
Yeah, but she's fantastic and she's Emma Thompson's sister.
I know. So Daniel's...
I forgive her anything.
Daniel's being asked by Adam about his night with Megan later, and Adam says, did the earth move? And Daniel says, everything moved. What a stud.
It's supposed to.
What a stud, Daniel. He's so funny because he comes across partly as like this massive geeky nerd, doesn't he? But also some kind of intellectual sex god. A bit like his dad, I suppose.
That is,
although I can't imagine...
That's the Barlows all over.
It is the Barlow bonking genes. Although I can't imagine old Ken sitting there in the Rovers in the 70s saying, oh yeah, the earth moved for me and Val last night.
No, because they get fined, probably.
Although he did go around with his shirt open a lot of the time, didn't he?
That
was his way of...
so swarthy.
Yeah, of parading his sexuality around. But anyway, so he's obviously giving Megan a good time. Adam, at this point, sneaks a gift bag for Alia into Eva's bag. No, he gives it to Eva to look after, doesn't he? Because
hide this. Alia's just walking in. Quick, take this.
Yeah, Alia's coming in. Take my bag. Stick it in your bag, which Maggie clocks. So she, next scene, pretty much, she's there with Eva's bag, having a good old rummage and a root about, and finds this package and sees it's for Alia. And the disappointment on her face is like, oh, I thought I had something then. How are we feeling this week?
She finds the letter.
She does find the letter. How are we feeling this week about Maggie? Because I'm just seeing the message boards online, absolute dripping with hatred and despising of this character. I'm not really feeling it yet.
I thought she's so interesting.
I think she's fun.
Because she's brought in... She's being played by an actress who's got this, you know...
Comedic past
and a lot of goodwill behind her. And also on the first episode, she's the one who helps Asha when she's feeling on the edge.
She did.
And she cared about her.
She's had a few scenes where she has shown genuine care for other people or for the punters.
Without having to actually... Like, she didn't have
without
to.
personal gain.
Yeah.
She definitely is all for herself and her family. The Driscolls are number one. But I do believe that she has some level of empathy for other people.
And it's also... The other thing that's funny about her is that a lot of the time, it feels as though Maggie sniping at Eva is supposed to be funny and kind of harmless. But it clearly isn't. And she genuinely hates her. So it's really difficult because I think as audiences, we're primed from years and years of like mother-in-law jokes and all this kind of stuff to just go, ha ha, this is just how it is. It's a bit of colour to the story to have her be so horrible to her daughter-in-law. But actually, she is a malicious cow.
She really is. And full of hate, isn't she?
She really does hate her. It's not like a funny joke or like kind of like Glenda and Christina where they're sniping and you're not really sure... They seem to both be having a good time and giving as good as they get.
Oh, when I heard of the character of Maggie was being brought in, what I wanted was a bit of an Ivy Tilsley.
Yeah.
And we've kind of...
This is it, though.
This is kind of it. Because Ivy was really vile and would try and find ways to trip Gail up.
Do you think Coronation Street just hates Catholic matriarchs?
She must do. They must do. But Ivy didn't push her husband down the stairs... I don't know. I think that they're probably, as Corio want to do, kind of throwing a little bit too much at Maggie too soon and making her look like completely irredeemably malicious and vile and cowy. And from what we've seen of her this week, I really, sadly, think that the character's not got much of a shelf life unless they tone it down a little bit. But yeah, Ivy was not just as... in a similar ballpark of how much she despised Gail being with her Brian, and she was so overprotective of him in the same way that for Maggie, as she said, my boys, they're the most important thing to me. But I think what Ivy also had was a bit more of a lighter side. She had her friends on the street. She had that relationship with Vera, and she had a good relationship with... what's the husband called? Blimey, I've forgotten. Bert, thank you. Although obviously that didn't come in for quite a bit. And they didn't launch straight into, here, look at this cow bag. It took a little while to develop there. And then, I know, we've not seen much Ivy. We've not watched many of her episodes for a good few years now. And there's obviously a lot more layering and years of character development for her there. But it is feeling to me that they're attempting a bit of an Ivy character. And even though they're not quite got it right, and I kind of wish they hadn't given her a shelf life, which I think they had done.
Why are you saying that? Because
especially from what happened with Alan.
Because of that murder.
Because of Alan, and because she's just being so despicable, I'd like to see them ease off on that a little bit and make her more of a fun character as well, rather than just somebody who's a bit of a troublemaker. Give her a friendship with Evelyn. It looked like this week that that was potentially something that could develop, but that's going to depend largely on how much Maureen Lipman wants to be in the show at the moment, doesn't it? But that's what I think that Maggie needs at the moment, just to get some of the edges off of her. Otherwise, she's just going to be an utter cowbag.
Evelyn, when she was first brought in, was also, I feel...
She was crueler.
She was not as likeable as she is now. And I said that at the time.
Yeah.
That they kind of misjudged her a bit when they first started. But that's because they're still trying to feel out what's going... I mean, don't forget, some writers are writing for... Even at this point, it's this stage, and I'm not saying specific names because I can't remember who's written which episodes, but some people are writing for characters they've never seen on screen yet at this point. 2 months in, it's still
there'll be script editors that'll say no, Maggie wouldn't say that, but you're right, they still haven't at this early stage completely settled on what they want Maggie to be, potentially.
And it will take a while before they really get a grip on what she's like. And even the actress, you know, she's working on her thoughts and other people's thoughts, and what, you know, it's a big collaborative process, and it's, like I said before, it's a massive ship that takes a while to steer sometimes.
Yeah, I remember when you said, you're right, when Evelyn came in and everyone was saying, oh, she's horrible, she's just the new Blanche, but she's more horrible than Blanche, she's not as funny, and they really did do a good job of separating those two characters over the course of that first 12 months or so. And I've not seen anybody saying, oh, she's the new Ivy, but she's not as obvious or well-known a comparator, is she? No. Especially with, you know, 2025 Coronation Street viewers. I absolutely loved Ivy, and I think that's probably why I'm drawn to it, because she was an absolute powerhouse of a character. Do
you think you might be overlapping some of your affection for Ivy onto Maggie?
I think I am. I think that's certainly influencing me. I'm going, oh, this is a little bit like that. I've got an awful lot of forgiveness for Maggie, but some of the things that she does this week, I'm like, oh gosh, they're really, really villainising her, aren't they?
It's kind of funny because they sort of did a little bit of similar thing with Gail being a mother-in-law from hell to Kylie and Tina.
Yeah, there was, yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I think that Maggie is maybe the worst mother-in-law in Coronation Street history, even though she's only been in it for
early
2
days
months.
to make such sweeping generalisations.
Maybe we need to do a patron.
Worst mother-in-laws.
Worst ones.
I mean, you've got people like, Mummy Taylor, of course. Not that Curly and Kimberly ever married. And Derek's mum was a bit of a thorn in Mavis's side, wasn't she? But
these women.
I know. Anyway, so I completely lost my train of thought where we are.
The letter.
Yeah, she's seen this letter. She's opened it up. She's found it. She's given it a bit of a read, and we paused it, even though that Maggie pretty much reads it out, didn't she? But the long and short of it is, Eva's apologising to her baby for aborting it, saying it wasn't the right time to be a mother again. She couldn't tell Ben, but Adam was her rock. Maggie's reaction is kind of interesting, because rather than being like, oh, that poor girl or anything like that, she does give a bit of a grin of triumph, doesn't she?
It's magnificent, because she's not devastated for Ben or the loss of her grandchild. She's thrilled that she's got ammunition against Eva, who she hates, and I love that.
At this point, though, she doesn't know for sure that it was even Ben's baby, does she?
She doesn't know.
As far as
she assumes it's Adam's.
Yeah, exactly. So she thinks, at last, I can get this girl out of my family.
She didn't even consider the possibility that it may have been Ben's. She just went, ha ha ha, brilliant.
Yeah.
And then I love this next bit.
Oh yeah, well, she's swanning around the Rovers the rest of the episode, wasn't she? Going, oh babies, they're so grand. Don't you just love the wee babies? Don't you agree, Eva? And Eva's
they're all right. I wouldn't.
We also learned that Maggie has invited Adam and Alia to lunch tomorrow, just for full-on fireworks. Lauren and Frankie are coming too. I think that's what starts her off, isn't it? Saying, oh, Frankie's coming along. Oh, just look at her chubby cheeks. And Ben says, look, what's going on? And Maggie says, well, I'm a diva, and a diva needs her audience, so fasten your seatbelts. I plan to put on quite a show. It was so cruel what she ends up doing, though. I feel bad for Ben, because
this is his mom, no matter what. Like, Eva can go if she wants.
Maggie had Ben's best interests at heart, because I think if you thought that your child's significant other really was a bad egg, and you thought that at last I've got this ammunition now to prove what I've known all along, and it's going to hurt my son to do it, but he needs to know. How far would you go to tear your own child's heart into to get this girl out of your life?
There's obvious ways of doing it that don't involve presenting it as a present, first of all, which was just awful.
It's almost like she knows she's on a soap on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
They closed the pub, hadn't they, for
Christmas
family meal,
which was made by Ollie. Ollie made
this.
Yeah,
well, I'm glad that Ollie had some kind of contribution to this week's Coronation Street. Because I saw that apparently on the synopsis for Thursday's episode, it said something along the lines of Ollie and Lauren get along famously. It's like, didn't see that.
I would like to have seen Ollie cooking. I don't believe it. I don't believe he can cook.
Do you reckon?
No, I think he's a packet queen.
Well,
I think he goes out the back and he's got foil containers.
You might get a story with it. They might extend out the Rovers pub again because they're back to the narrow galley version, aren't they? But
so the other thing that Maggie is banging on about is the bird within a bird within a bird, which I love that she refuses to call it a 3-bird roast.
It's not. I think a bird within a bird within a bird just has got this feeling of grandeur.
It feels
that a 3-bird roast doesn't.
Dickensian decadence.
Yeah.
Like, Victorian, like candlelight flickering on a groaning table full of delicious, glistening meats and fruits. And
it does. They just need the roast suckling pig to top it off. We had a bird within a bird within a bird a couple of weeks ago, didn't we?
It wasn't that good, was it?
There's a tiny little bit of duck in the middle.
It was from Lidl. And I
rely on Lidl for high quality fare.
I was like, if anyone's going to do a bird within a bird within a bird and do it justice, it would be Lidl.
I don't think that's where Maggie got theirs from.
No,
it's Freshco's finest.
It's a duck. No, what is it? It's a chicken put inside a duck, put inside a turkey.
Something like that.
I mean, you could go 4-bird if you're feeling fancy. I'm surprised she didn't. You can go 5-bird if you can find a swan from somewhere.
So anyway, look, Alia's opened her present. She's got a key pendant, and Adam says, "Oh, move into Kit's old flat with me." And I'm like, "Oh, whatever."
That was a very sweet gift, although this present has got a shelf life if they break up, isn't it?
He's not intending that to happen.
No, I know, but if they break up, she can't keep this necklace because it's a symbol of them moving in together.
Is there a more boring couple on the street at the moment than Adam and Alia? Seriously.
Maybe they'll move in together and that will be it.
I do wonder whether 2026 is going to be the year that we finally get a bit of action for them, because Ian McLeod and Kate Brooks just don't know what to do with either of these two, do they? It was almost like when they put Debbie and Ronnie together a few years ago. It's like, oh yeah, they're a couple now. Let's shove them out the way somewhere. We won't even give them a home flat. We don't need to talk about them until we want to get rid of Sue Devaney. And now Sue's brilliant, obviously. But they just... But I saw somebody online commenting this week that if Alia were to just evaporate into thin air, like Evelyn's sherry, then nobody would notice, and that's 100% right. There are some characters that the show would not suffer. There wouldn't even be the slightest shimmer of difference on the cobbles if Alia just wasn't there anymore, was there? And that's harsh, because...
Are you It's a Wonderful Life-ing Alia?
I am. You get Clarence down to say, let's see how much different the street would be without Alia.
And then he's like, oh, this is really awkward.
Has this worked? Have I gone... This is exactly the same.
Oh, Alia, maybe you should do it.
And it's sad, because I do believe in the potential of all our actors on Coronation Street. I do as well. And Sarah, we've met a couple of times. She's lovely, and she has shown that she can do fantastic dramatic performances. But the character is just a vacuumy void of nothingness. She really is. And she's the only remaining Nazir on the street now. So she's got very, very few links, and... Even with Dee Dee gone, that's another
friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, but when she did have stories, she was annoying because she just made everything about herself.
Oh, like after Luke died,
the wailing widow of Weatherfield.
Yeah, I don't know what could be done.
She's just really uptight and prissy, and I think we've got quite a few women on the street who have that personality. And we don't need another one. But there's not to say
some of the other
kind
of dull characters, you can say, at least I can put my finger on a time when they were good, or do you remember that really one good story they had? And I'm sorry to say that Alia doesn't fit that. Even
when she was climbing on the roof and throwing Jeff to the chickens.
Oh yeah, no, she was quite good with that, actually, to be fair, wasn't she?
No, I know, but even then she's like, oh...
Yeah...
This would be...
Look, which is why I'm not particularly... I'm not too fussed on her and Adam being together, even though I still stand by the fact that she would not go for someone like Adam. God, he is not her type whatsoever.
Opposites attract.
But anyway, I say, throw them together because I also don't find Adam particularly inspiring a character after all these years. So he's had long enough to, to prove himself to me.
Oh, yeah.
So bung them together in Kit's old flat and throw away the key, as far as I'm concerned. Sorry, that's my little Christmas wish.
Brick the door up.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Leave them to the mercies of Uncle Stephen's ghost in the microwave.
Yes, they could be haunted by Uncle Stephen's microwave ghost. You're right.
Yeah, I'd love that.
Yes. Anyway, sorry.
Good luck to the newly moved in couple.
I didn't start today's podcast with the sole intention of ragging on Alia or
it's
any
not
other characters.
Any criticism of the actress. When a character is kind of dull and they haven't got good storylines, it's not the actor's fault. It just really isn't. It's never a reflection of them.
No,
because there's just and it's because the cast is so huge. Even though we've been killing people all year.
Yeah, but there are some characters that Corrie just clings on to, don't they? I mean, I'm not going to name any more names, but everybody can think of a good handful that we're thinking, why are they still on the show? What on earth do they add to it? How much is ITV paying them that they could save if they just kind of weren't there anymore?
Let's because it's Christmas. Let's stop there.
Sorry. Okay, that was just my inner Scrooge.
No, I agree.
Coming
I
out,
do.
wasn't
Agree,
it?
I don't disagree with you at all. And I think a lot of people. I can't think of many people that would argue with that.
Anyway, so speaking of miseries, Bertie, welcome.
Oh no.
Do you remember when Bertie was cute and smiley?
Hang on,
and
he's
little...
still cute. He just was very serious.
He was in what 3, 4, 5 scenes this week, and he was just miserable.
Christmas is a serious time for children.
It's a somber occasion. He's missing his mum.
He is worried about what gifts he's going to get. Because he's got Daniel as a dad, he's probably going to get books of poetry and stuff.
Yeah, Webster's Dictionary.
Like, here you go, here's a condensed works of Shakespeare.
I need a Webster's Dictionary to tell me about all the car parts. That's probably what Kevin has, isn't it? Like carburettor.
That's part, isn't it?
Catalytic converter.
Spark plugs.
Yeah, poor Bertie. He was, not feeling himself today, maybe. But I still love him. He's definitely, you're right, he is definitely still cute.
He is very
cute. Anyway. Daniel's got Megan a present of a week away at a spa. Lovely.
A week at a spa?
I thought it was. Maybe it was a weekend. I don't know. Will's even more grumpy. We just, yet again, this week had various shots of Will just giving the meanest of Paddington Bear stares at Daniel.
He is comically grumpy, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's like a weaponised eel.
But again, I'm thinking, what after this story? Like, has he been sacrificed already by this story? Because he's really quite unlikable, isn't he? I can't see many viewers kind of going, oh, I love Will, or poor Will, he's been taken advantage of by Megan. He's just a lovely little kid underneath. He's a little oik. He's a git, as Daniel called him this week. You've
got to be careful here, because this is a child who's been groomed.
I know, but she didn't groom him into being an arse.
No.
No, he's just a grumpy teenager.
I understand what you're saying, and this is not a real person.
No.
And so he's written how he's written, but, there's a case to be made for him completely changing his personality once he's away from Megan, because she's causing this emotional turmoil. She's the one that's messing with his head. No wonder he's
I know, but I think
this.
As we said before, we are definitely not in favour of what Megan and Will are doing here. But I think I'm feel
against
more.
It.
I was going to say that. I think I would have more sympathy for Will if he was more likeable, and I'd probably and that would also lead to a little bit more feelings of hatred towards Megan.
I know what you're saying.
He's just he's.
I don't think they're concerned at the moment with anything except making this a story where Will is going to be quite self-destructive.
I suppose, if we look at other teens in recent Corrie history, you had the likes of Max, who was also quite a massive grump when he was taken over by Paddy Beaver, and they definitely got a lot of sympathy for him towards the end. And also Mason, of course, the great transformation of the last couple of years. So it's not out of the question, I guess. But I think, as I say, in the current story, I would have a bit more sympathy for Will as a character if he wasn't just, moody git in the corner behind the bar.
But we don't really know him. We don't really know what he's like outside the clutches of Megan. And he's at such a vulnerable age already, and all these hormones, and he doesn't even know who he is. And he's being manipulated and lied to and being forced to lie and manipulate himself. And I think his family.
He's also been...
Must be so confused.
He's been brought up under the iron fist of Ben as well, hasn't he?
And his gran constantly dripping poison in his ear about how he's superior to everybody.
Yeah.
No wonder he smacked Daniel over the head.
There is love in that family, but it's a kind of love...
Toxic.
Yeah, you're right, it is. It's a toxic love that's there. So maybe that can explain it, but we will...
How could he be a happy-go-lucky, cheerful lad with all of these grown-ups surrounding him, ruining his life? And this is when you learn who you are and you become yourself. And he doesn't even know who he is.
Maybe they will just end up pairing him up with, I don't know, Betsy.
Oh, not Lauren. No, Betsy.
And then she can put a smile on his face.
I don't know. Somebody's got to.
Anyway, so...
Eva's rummaging for a letter.
Eva's looking for a letter, isn't she, at that point? I don't know why she particularly wanted it at the Christmas table, but...
She's like, I'm going to read everyone a poem.
Yeah, but no, she's can't find it there, so she goes out the back and she's looking for it, and Adam comes and joins her, and she says, "Oh God, my letter's gone. Somebody's taken it. They must have done. Could it be Maggie?" And then Ben walks in, and Adam makes a fairly hasty exit because when Ben sees them, Adam's there holding her hand, just in a reassuring, friendly way. But Ben's not really happy.
Ben gets really shirty.
Yeah, well, I'm not surprised.
He's going, look, you don't ever talk to him about your problems. Talk to me. Come to me.
I don't see Ben as being a completely controlling, Jim McDonald-ish, I'm going to beat the living daylights out of this person for even looking at my
he's very jealous
kind of thing. But he's definitely jealous. I'm glad that they make it towards the end of the week, though, at least, because I do very much enjoy Ben as a character. I think he's grand. So anyway, Megan gives Will some earbuds for Christmas, so podcasts ahoy there. And then dinner starts, so the main event gets going down, and Maggie's telling everybody how special her boys are and how lovely it is that they're all together to enjoy her 3-bird roast. Daniel's there canoodling with Megan, which I'm sure we can all guess what Will's reaction to that is. We don't get to see a whole lot of the eating, because the main drama happens once everyone's had their puds and it's time for the secret Santa presents. I guess that they had their normal presents as well, but this is a bit of a Driscoll family tradition, apparently, to have a secret Santa. I don't see anything wrong with that. We have our table presents, don't we?
When you have guests who are not part of the family, you involve them.
Yeah.
By doing a secret Santa.
And
I don't know how Maggie swung it at getting Ben.
Well, she's running it, isn't she? She could. Yeah. She very much wheedled it so that she got her lovely Ben.
But here's the question, right? What? Did she fix this before she knew that she was gonna confront Eva?
That's a good point, actually.
Or did she just fix it because she loves Ben so much she wanted to buy him a present?
Well, they presumably they didn't get given their secret Santa pics in the last few hours since Maggie found the letter. Yeah. So she must have had Ben beforehand.
Yeah. How convenient.
Well, I don't know. Maybe, she was going to reveal it anyway, wouldn't she? And she is one, she said at the end of last episode, she is one for theatre. So she thought, well, I'm going to reveal it in the most theatrical, dramatic way possible.
Maybe somebody else got Ben and she just chucked that present away. So maybe Lauren was sitting there the whole time going, I didn't put that in there.
Oh, I got him a football. That's not even in the right shape. Trying to get him onto the other game. Anyway, it's the letter. It's a box with the letter in, and you can see Eva's face drop when she realises what it is. I feel so bad for her. She's like, "Babe, give it to me. Come on, let me have it." And he's like, "Oh no, what's this say?" So he reads this letter, and Eva calls Maggie a bitch, which is brilliant. And Maggie says, "This is evidence of an affair between Eva and Adam." So
She's awful.
I know.
She's awful.
In the middle of Christmas dinner.
And, like, she doesn't care. She's not thought about any of the other side effects of this. Like, she doesn't...
She certainly doesn't care about the other guests.
No, she doesn't care that Ollie's put a lot of work into making this dinner, and now she's ruined it. She doesn't care about humiliating the whole family in front of these strangers that they've just moved into the community of.
It's like she can say, oh, my boys, they're the most important thing to me. I love my boys so much. And then because she said that, she can do whatever she wants to them. Just so that afterwards she can say, oh, yeah, but you've no boys. I did it for you. I love you.
Yep.
She's
crazy.
She is. Anyway, we find out that this abortion happened when Eva and Ben were going through a rough patch. He'd gone back to his wife.
They were broken up.
Yeah, basically. Because they weren't married at that time, were they?
They're not married. They've never been married.
Oh, no, of course they're not married, are they? You're right.
Maggie made that mistake before.
Yes, so have many.
It's because they want to... It's because they're going to have an Eva and Ben wedding.
I hope so.
I don't see why they wouldn't. I think it's a calculated decision because soaps love a wedding. And you know that Maggie will hate it and it will be absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I hope so. Anyway, Maggie says that Eva took the opportunity to go back to the groin of his lordship, Adam. Vile. And Daniel says, I can't believe you do this. Daniel is very... just kind of forthright in his condemning of Maggie, isn't he?
Well,
I think most people at this point would just keep their head down. But Daniel's like, what are you doing?
Got a lot to say for someone who pushed his own dad down the stairs.
Yeah, you're right. Will, I think it's mostly there just so Will can snarl at him that it's none of his business. But I suppose fair play to Daniel for standing up for...
What would you do? I wouldn't do it.
I would just
sit there.
I'd sit there and I'd probably either be kind of just giving you the side eye going,
we'd be poking each other under the table, wouldn't we?
Sending little texts.
I'd be recording it on my voice memo. This is great.
It is. It's a total brilliant drama. Especially if we were, ancillary characters.
Yeah, I thought I'm just an extra.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of which, I can't believe we've got this far into the podcast without saying Dirk got a line this week.
Yes, he did.
In the
he
pub.
Got a couple of lines.
He did, didn't he? Love it, Dirk. And it's obviously then led to people online
Christmas
saying,
elf.
who on earth was that dressed as a Christmas elf? Yeah, I love that they gave him full-on elf body costume there to wear. And he comes in, he gives... who was it he gave? Bethany, he gave a hug.
Yeah, he did.
I don't know whether Dirk
friends.
and Bethany have ever had anything to do with each other.
You never see them together, but they are real big pals.
Yeah, and then he goes off. But that was a lovely Christmas treat.
10 out of 10.
For me,
Christmas elf.
Thank you, Jonathan Harvey, for giving us that.
Yeah.
And for giving Adam Blease something to say as
Yeah,
well. Because
he deserves it.
I, of course, have been texting Adam a little bit this week, and he was very happy to have got that line this week. Little Christmas miracle, he called it. Anyway, so Ben gets up and stands at the bar. Adam goes over to him and he says, look, Ben, you're misreading this situation. And then straight, you know that there was going to be a punch, didn't you? Ben's like, oh, I misread this. And he duffs him, punches his lights out. And then Eva makes everyone's mouths drop by announcing that it wasn't Adam's baby that they were aborting, but Ben's. So she then has to try and defend herself to him out the back.
They finally decide that they might want to take this conversation somewhere more private.
Yes. She says, I was in no fit state to bring up another baby as well as Susie. We were on a break. We'd split up as far as I was concerned. And I just happened to be in Hull at the time and I just happened to bump into Adam. And she should have said, Ben, you've only been here a month and a half. You don't realise how often people just happen to bump into one another. But that's what happens around here. Yeah, Adam was seeing a client in Hull.
What do you think of Eva's account of the situation? Because I was worried as soon as she said it's Ben and I's baby. I was like, oh great, now we're gonna have weeks and weeks of Ben being angry with her for aborting his child. But when she explained the circumstances, I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, some people are against abortions for any reason, obviously. But I think that for somebody like Eva,
in soap land, we're not talking about the morality of terminating in real life. We're not talking about that. We're talking about a soap.
I think for Eva, that decision that she made was probably for her what she felt was the most sensible one at the time.
Without talking about real life situations, because that is not what we're talking about. We're talking about soap. I think that Eva's decision makes complete sense, considering what she was saying. You know, I was alone. You'd gone off with your wife. I had Susie as well. I couldn't bring up 2 children. I couldn't bring up a baby alone and also look after Susie. You abandoned. You're the one that went, and I couldn't tell you. She was saying, I couldn't get hold of you. You wouldn't answer the phone. I couldn't communicate with you. I couldn't let you know about this. And you went back to your ex-wife, who she calls the dragon, which, you know, makes me think, obviously at some point,
we're going to have
Ben's
to have
ex-wife will appear. Maybe they're still married.
I can't remember what the situation with that is, possibly. I mean, equally, if Eva had decided, no, you know what, I am going to keep this baby, I could totally see that in her character to do it as well.
Yeah, I think...
And she doesn't strike me one way or the other as, you know, definitely keep this baby, definitely get rid of it. But she could have said, you know, I'm going to go and live with Stella and she's going to help me raise this kid.
I think the main thing for me that I appreciated was there was no hint whatsoever that this was some kind of nasty calculated attack or revenge or something. Like, yeah, I terminated your child.
No, there wasn't anything like that.
She was just being very practical about it and saying, you kind of left me, and she wasn't even saying it in a malicious, like, I'm going to hurt you by telling you this. She was like, you left me no choice, you know. I couldn't have done... I couldn't imagine doing it any
I thought it was very believable that it was in her character to do that, for sure. So
I'll tell you what she could have done that she didn't even think about. Give it to Toya.
She could have done, couldn't she?
Toya's there. I'm right here. I was right here the whole time. God damn it.
Although that didn't work out so well the last time, did it? Toya's like, are you sure this time?
Right, come on.
Are you really going to let me keep this?
You need to sign this bit of paper.
Yeah, let's...
I'm not having that again.
Well, you know, it was probably, could have been, when Toya and Imran were together looking to foster a child.
Oh no, if only they'd communicated.
Exactly. Maybe, I mean, I wonder, Toya obviously wasn't there this week, but what's she going to say when she finds out that her sister's had an abortion, considering all of her own fertility issues?
She will never mention it. It will never be brought up.
I'm going to say that's probably quite likely.
It's like she never found out.
Yeah, but I can't believe that Toya would be immediately accepting of her sister's decision to do that. Well, you know.
This really isn't a baby we're not talking about. This is a plot device that was created to make drama at Christmas dinner.
Exactly.
So that it could put a wedge between Maggie and the rest of the family.
And it really, really did, because Ben made the quite surprising and bold move of turfing his ma out, didn't he?
I know.
That was finally, a bit of a surprise.
I mean, he said before...
He's been a proper mummy's boy.
What did he say about this? He said something about when Eva was bitching about him and he walked in on it, and he said something like, oh, the circumcision...
What?
Well, no, he was talking about
He didn't
Eva.
say the circumcision.
Yeah, I can't think of the word. I'm asking you.
No, you're right. He did say something like that. The castration.
That's it.
Yeah, the
I'm sorry, I don't know all the different words you use to cut your bits off.
No, you're right. So this is...
So he's already proven that he didn't back Eva up, but this is obviously... I think it's because it affects him. Because it made him look bad in front of everybody, and it made him sad. When Maggie's being horrible to Eva, it's like, just chill out, babe. Just let you know. So what? And as soon as she says something bad and makes him feel sad and look bad, he's like, get out.
Well, I think that he appreciates and loves Eva enough that he realises that if he doesn't do what he's going to do here, this could be the end of them, and he really wants to make it work with her.
I don't think it's to do with what she did to Eva. I'm sorry.
Do you not?
No, I think it's very telling that she's been doing stuff and saying things about Eva this whole time, and as soon as she attacks Ben, she's out on her ass.
But this was the next step up in terms of a public denouncement and public humiliation of his girlfriend.
I felt really bad for Eva when she says something to Maggie like, you really hate me. Like, why would you do this? Like, she knows... Eva's been having Maggie make nasty comments for years, right? But I don't think she ever truly realised how much Maggie despises her until that moment. And it must have been really heartbreaking.
Yeah, definitely. So anyway, Maggie's gone. Ben apologises to Adam and they have a bit of a handshake and for the misunderstanding and the punch-up. And Daniel realises at that point that Megan's left and Will's like, oh yeah, she said she's going to go. Sorry, I forgot to tell you. So Daniel says, I love how he's picking a fight with a kid again. It's just like with him and Max, isn't it? He can't help it.
It's like
I'm taller than you.
It's like he's so insecure that he only picks fights with people who are clearly intellectually his inferior. He's like,
and age as well.
I know what I can do. I can beat a 16-year-old boy.
I mean, I expect if Will hadn't clonked Daniel over the head first, Daniel would have got in there and tried it for him.
It's like, listen, you don't even know what I'm capable of. I pushed my own dad down.
Push my dad down the stairs, push David's son down the stairs.
You're next.
Third time's a charm. Yeah. Yeah, he's just a preventative measure, wasn't it, from Will, really?
Yeah.
To get in there first.
Yeah.
But anyway, he calls him a little git and says, I know you got the hots for your teacher, but you really should leave this stuff for the adults. But wait, Megan was actually just upstairs with the little ones. And she comes downstairs and Will tells her, oh yeah, Daniel's gone now. So she says, look, you need to be really, really careful.
Which little ones?
Susie, Bertie.
Bertie should have been with his dad. I like the way Daniel's like, where's Megan? Not where's Bertie? And he just leaves, going, I'm sure Bertie's just let himself in.
He came with me. Anyway, Will's so yeah, she says, look, Will, you need to be really careful. You nearly gave the game away earlier. Stop being so obvious with the way you're treating Daniel. And Will's just got a right cob on. I don't blame him. I think anyone would.
He's only 16. He's only emotional.
But even if you had
maturity.
the emotional maturity, there's only so much blazing face sucking that you can watch from your girlfriend and this other guy.
And she's like,
you're gonna boil over, aren't you?
Why do you need? No, you don't need to cover up like this because you'd never done this before. Why all of a sudden?
Yeah, she says, oh, it's just for you, but she's being 100% selfish here. So anyway,
can't believe it. She's such an upstanding citizen.
Maggie ends up on Maxine's bench, doesn't she? And I think she does. She's starting to realise that she might have pushed it too far at this point because she does look proper upset and a bit
just like Ben, she's upset because she's suffered. She's not upset about what she's done because she refuses to apologise.
I think she's upset with maybe the way that she did it because it has led to this. Because it has led to this outcome.
No, she would do it again 100 times probably.
But she doesn't want to be thrown out of the pub.
No, she doesn't. But she thinks they were overreacting, I would imagine.
Yeah, maybe.
How can you not get inside her head? It's obvious.
She gets him to drive her off to Chariot Square. She's like, oh, do you know any hotels in the area, Roy?
Well, I don't know.
Well,
there's a Premier
There
Inn.
is one. No.
It's a Holiday Inn.
So that's it. She spends the night there. And in the pub, Ben puts on the fairy tale of New York and it all ends where it began. And he's having a little dance with Eva and they're fine with each other and he promises not to let her down again. And
see, this is really interesting.
We get some more montage.
That he doesn't seem to hold a grudge about this. I don't know if this is going to come back up at a later date, but it genuinely seems like he accepts that he had a part to play in how this ended up.
I think that he probably realises that when they were going through a break, he went back to his girlfriend. Wife, sorry. And, yeah, he understands that it could have... Eva didn't even do anything wrong. You know, she didn't have an affair. Sorry,
Michael,
she didn't have an affair.
I know that she didn't do anything wrong, but this guy seems to me... I'm quite surprised at how maturely he's taking it, because there are definitely men who would...
You're right. I think maybe he's possibly hoping that... You know, maybe we can try again for.
I think this will come up.
Yeah.
I think that's what will happen.
Yeah. Anyway, so everything's all peachy there.
Then.
But
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Cut to the ginnel.
What?
Or what is it that Maggie called it?
Entryway?
Entryway is that she called it today. They will insist on calling it a ginnel.
I like that. So funny.
And he's there, flat out on the cobbles, and it was like. Was it Will? It was Will, wasn't it? Or was it? Because there was always the possibility going into today's episode that they could pull the rug out from under us and it'd be a secret surprise head basher-inner. Did you have any kind of thoughts about, could it be someone else, or was it just going to be 100% Will?
We talked about it, didn't we?
Did we?
And I was thinking 100% it's Will until people started saying, oh, I think it was so-and-so. And I thought maybe it could have been Maggie or Megan.
I don't know. There was no reason for it to be Megan. I can't believe that whatsoever.
No, because she's a psychopath.
Yeah, but she wouldn't have done that to Daniel. And
Why?
even Maggie wouldn't have had a reason to do that to Daniel, would she? Because she thinks she seems to have been fairly supportive of their relationship. Not that they've got anything to do with her, apart from she's her grandson's coach. But there was no reason, I think, for either of them to have done it. If it was going to be anyone other than Will, all I can imagine would have been that it would have been a random attack. And that, Carl sneaking through the ginnel or...
The thing is about what you're saying is it could have been a mistaken identity. Anyone could have done it because they thought he was somebody else. Or there's a reason that you haven't found out.
Yeah. I mean, when Adam got hit on the head back 5 years ago, that was Faye thinking that it was Ray, wasn't it? And I can't think particularly off the top of my head of anyone else in stories that are going on at the moment that it could have been built up to have been, I thought that you were so-and-so.
Right, next.
So today we get in and, there's still quite a lot of Driscoll action happening on Friday. Evelyn uncovers Daniel in the ginnel when she's there walking Freddie. And then we cut to Maggie and Will in the cafe the next morning. And
that same morning.
Yeah, but Evelyn's walking Freddie in the dark, isn't she?
Yeah, I would assumed it was early morning. Yeah.
And then it's just a bit later, and Maggie and Will are in the cafe there. Megan comes over and says, oh, I'm going out with Bertie and Daniel today. And, oh, hang on a minute, what's this? A message from Adam saying that Daniel's been attacked. And I kind of want to go back and watch some of those scenes again, because I was looking to see how does Will react to it, because it seemed fairly certain that it was going to be him. But he just
looks guilty. I remember.
I'd like to have seen Maggie's reaction a little bit more there.
She doesn't give the game away, I'm just saying.
No, well, I think that she's had many years of practice of poker facing.
Here's my question.
Yes.
We don't know where Alia lives, right? Do we? We've established
off the top
that
of my head.
As far as we know, it's very probable that Adam and Daniel live together.
Yes.
Where was Bertie, and why did nobody notice that Daniel was missing for the vast majority of Christmas Day evening through to Boxing Day morning?
This is a very good point. What did happen to Bertie overnight? I hadn't considered that.
If Adam lives with Bertie and Daniel, right, he's just there going, this is odd. Bertie, where's your dad? I don't care. I suppose I don't care, so just make yourself some breakfast. I
assume that Daniel must have gone home and then headed to put Bertie to bed and then headed out again. Because he was on the phone.
To make a phone call in the ginnel? Why?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe he'd gone to see his dad or something.
I think we shouldn't be thinking about this slight plot hole.
I think that Bertie's been put to bed and Daniel doesn't know that. So Adam doesn't know that Daniel snuck out again. And then Adam discovers in the morning, well, either via looking in Daniel's room or by Evelyn that Daniel is not there. But I don't think it particularly matters.
I think it's hilarious.
Daniel's
just
fine.
To imagine that nobody cares about this poor child.
Daniel's fine.
Why he's so grumpy.
He's just sitting in the hospital bed. He's got a plaster over his forehead. Just joining the likes of Craig and Carl and many other Corrie men who've had their heads staved in 2025. And
some more successfully than others.
Maggie comes in, doesn't she? She wants to check that he's okay. And that did seem a little bit odd watching it, but now knowing what we know, clearly she just wants to check that Will's not dealt too much serious damage to this guy.
Well, also she wants to know, did you remember who did it?
Oh yeah, did you get a look at the perp? She says.
Oh, I've watched too many crime shows.
yeah. And so she's like relieved at this point because she knows that it's Will. And as soon as she finds out that he doesn't remember that, then she heads back off to the pub.
Well, this is when we also find out that he has had his wallet and watch stolen.
Oh, yes, of course.
And she's like, oh, that's sad, isn't it?
Bye. Maggie goes to the pub. She's still refusing to apologise to Eva.
We didn't even mention earlier on when we see Evelyn finding Daniel, and then in the cafe, Maggie and Will are having breakfast or something, and Maggie tells Will, I had to step over a homeless man this morning.
Yes.
And I was thinking to myself, I kind of love the idea that Maggie and Evelyn came across Daniel on the floor, and Maggie is such a heartless cow that she just went, step over this homeless guy in the way of me. But actually,
that jumper was pretty striking.
It was a clue that it wasn't Daniel that she was referring to. It was what she does later.
Yeah,
but we find out she's.
I liked you're right. They put in a few clues early in the episode, didn't they?
It was really good. I think it's good.
I think it was a good mystery. Anyway, so Maggie is not apologising to Eva still.
But it's so funny because she's got what does she think she's done?
What do you mean?
She knows that she didn't have the correct grasp of what actually happened, but she's still not apologising for accusing Eva of having an affair and having a baby with somebody else.
I wonder whether she thinks that Ben is going to consider her to be more important to hold on to over Eva in the long run. Yeah. And if she holds out for long enough, Ben's going to say, oh, I don't want to lose me ma. Sorry, Eva.
Get lost.
Off you go.
Yeah, I think she's absolutely psychotic and I love her.
But it's not really the kind of familial harmony that I would want to have round the back of the Rovers. And it all ties into what I was saying before about the Rovers family should be, they're the premier family of Coronation Street. It's the most important location on the show. And they should be characters that there's just a bit too much darkness and drama early on, and I want to keep Maggie and Eva and Ben there in the pub. I don't care about whether Ollie and Will stay, but these three, this trio, I don't want to lose, and I can't see a way round for. I don't know how they could come through this. It feels like we're going to have to lose Maggie. Anyway, Maggie gets left alone with Will and says, is there anything you want to get off your chest, son? And then the next time we see them, they're openly speaking about the fact, it was me that clonked Daniel on the head. I didn't rob him, though. And she says, look, I'm not going to tell anyone. Don't worry about it. We Driscolls stick together. You've had a lucky escape, though.
I wonder why she waited until this point, apart from plot reasons, to tell Will that she knows, because she saw him doing it.
I suppose maybe she wanted to get all the facts about how Daniel's doing, how serious is this, and now she's realised that he's okay. Like, right, we can talk about it. Don't go around bopping people on the head. It's it's going to lead to trouble.
Didn't think I had to say that, but now I've said it, you won't do it again, right?
Right. But yeah, then the attacker gets collared by the police, the supposed attacker.
Well, the Weatherfield police strike again, don't they?
Yeah, they found a homeless man in possession of Daniel's watch and wallet. And
it was Becky.
Yeah. So I did not I didn't at all suspect Maggie as being the pocket pincher here.
No.
It's like, oh, okay, fine, so homeless persons. But then I was thinking, this homeless person, is this going to be a reveal of somebody? Are we going to have a character from the past? Is revealed, like Dennis Tanner? Obviously not Dennis Tanner.
It's old sniffly guitar man.
Yeah, Stu back again.
Stu's back and he's still not got anywhere to live.
Yeah, or maybe, what's Sean's homeless friend called? The one I'm talking about, like that woman. But no, the way that this has been left, I do feel a bit sorry for this person that's had the wallet and watch planted on them.
Well, maybe they're having a better Christmas than they would have done otherwise with a bed sleeping.
This is true. It seems a little narratively unsatisfying if this innocent homeless person gets sent down for mugging.
Well, when
they didn't do anything wrong. So I would think probably, Corrie can't resist a police station scene. We might get to see them next week, and maybe they've got an alibi as to why they couldn't have done it.
£3.50. They were wearing fingerless gloves.
Do you reckon?
In their interview scene.
Well, Maggie's going to have her fingerprints all over...
well, that's what I said.
The watch and the wallet, aren't we? Yeah, you pointed that out. But anyway...
It's like she's never done a crime before, which I refuse to believe.
Will's relieved, as is Maggie, that they seem to have dodged a bullet with this one. But she's still standing still on, I'm not apologising to Eva for what I've done. I'd rather leave. So Eva's saying, look, why can't we just be friends? Come on, Maggie, stay. And she says, look, I'm going to be 6 feet under soon enough. You're not the first man that's been ruled by his unmentionables. She does a bit of a dramatic flouncing out, doesn't she? I'm going then.
Here's a question. Do you think there's ever going to be a revelation about why Maggie hates Eva particularly? Is it too tempting for them to not retcon or make up some kind of reason beyond she's just insane? Because they have done a lot of groundwork for her to be this crazy.
Yeah. There's not been anything apart from just, she's the mother-in-law from hell, so of course she's going to hate
But
Eva.
she's not the mother-in-law from hell to the dragon, is she?
No.
Who is Ben's ex-wife.
I suppose it's just a case of she really liked Ben and Dragon together, and she sees Eva as been the floozy that's come in and disrupted this family harmony.
But do you think that maybe she is in contact with the dragon and they're really good friends?
That wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me.
I just really want to see. I want this woman to come in the show. I want to see what she's like.
Yeah. I would be very surprised if 2026 goes by and we haven't seen her.
And what if she's just like this really lovely, unassuming... Maybe she's just a massive doormat.
Yeah, maybe.
But why would Eva call her the dragon? Because the lads never talk about their mum.
No.
And they don't miss her this Christmas, do they?
Maybe Dragon knows about Maggie pushing Alan down the stairs and she's like, I need to keep her close.
Yeah.
Maybe. Unlikely, but it's possible.
I'm really fascinated. But I'm worried this is going to be a DD Mark II where we pin all these hopes and dreams on a often mentioned character and they turn up and not that.
I don't have DD level
hype.
Hopes and dreams and hype for Dragon Driscoll.
Well,
no.
Do you know if Dragon Driscoll's ever won the Rising Star Award?
I don't know. I see her as being a bit like a Danielle sort of character.
A Danielle?
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of want her to be like a Karen.
Yeah. We'll see.
Not a generic Karen, a specifically Corey Karen.
Yeah, we'll see. So anyway, Ben's reaction to his mum leaving is quite funny as well, isn't he? She's saying, off I go then, I'd maybe see you when I see you. And he's like, all right, ma, bye. And he's just doesn't even look up from his paperwork because I think he knows that she's going to come grovelling back at some point because she's such a drama queen.
The trouble with what Maggie's done is she's raised Ben to be as stubborn and principled as she is.
Yeah.
And so he's not going to budge and neither is she.
No.
I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't fall to Eva to try to patch this up, which sucks.
As she walks through the bar, she bumps into Evelyn again, which again, as I said, gives me hope that maybe they'll do something to develop a relationship with her. But even if they do, it'd be on thin ground because, honestly, Maureen Lipman can just decide at a whim that she's going to take 6 months, year and a half off. So maybe it's better if Maggie makes some links with, I don't know, maybe it's better if Maggie makes some links with somebody that's a bit more stable on the show.
I can't imagine her being friends with anyone.
Anyway, but you'd say that about Ina Sharples, wouldn't you?
But Ina Sharples had 2 groupies.
Evelyn is told by Maggie, these bunch of ingrates, they don't know what I do for them. And this is when Speaking of which, just going to have a little Kate Brooks endorsed flashback to last night, bit of a sepia over the lens, and we see Will attacking Daniel in the ginnel.
From the POV of Maggie watching from the window.
From the window. They so very rarely have people standing in the windows, the upstairs windows. So it's adds a little bit more realism and 3D-ness to this street.
Well done to Pauline McLean for climbing that ladder.
Anyway, she sees Will doing it, and then we kind of cut to her taking Daniel's watch and wallet and walking off. So it was her all along. She robbed Daniel, getting the fingerprints all over it, and implicated some poor, unfortunate homeless person in the service of protecting her family.
I wanted to see the deleted footage of Maggie wandering the streets looking for somebody who she could plant this on.
Yeah.
How long did it take her to find somebody?
Yeah, it's like window shopping for scapegoats.
You don't see very many people, unless they're involved in a plot, who are homeless on Weatherfield.
This is true, but we've walked around Manchester in the night and plenty of time enough to know that it wouldn't take us too long to find somebody. Should we want to have done this?
We don't talk about that, Michael.
I'm just thinking back to like when Lou hit Gary over the head this year, and I know that he came up a lot worse, but she ended up going into prison for this, which makes me think that it's fairly likely, I would say, that Will's going to get away with this.
He's 16.
Either nobody's going to find out, or they'll do the whole finding out thing, but saying, well, I'm not going to report you to the police, just don't do it again. I think they're going to get away with it. I don't know about Maggie, but I'm very, very keen to find out what happens next. Although, I also get the feeling, just from the way that she walked off at the end of today's episode, that she could be walking out of that show for a good... Maggie, 3-4 weeks.
Maybe.
She's not gone for good, clearly, but it would make sense if this was a bit of a break for the actress, who's had an awful lot to do recently. She's not living at the pub anymore, so she could be holding on to this off screen for a little bit. Possibly, I don't know. Or maybe she'll be back on Monday, who knows. But we know the way these things work, they're filming blocks.
If the police get involved with it turning out Will was the one who attacked Daniel, it would be quite interesting, because I think that the punishment would really hinge on why he's done it. Okay? Now, his motivation is that he wanted to protect his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And that involves Megan, so he wouldn't be able to say that. He needs to come up with a reason why he attacked Daniel that isn't Megan. What would he even say at that point?
I mean, he could say, people saw that Daniel, he called me a git in the pub today. Okay. Oh, he accused me of making eyes at his girlfriend, but I wasn't, honestly.
If Megan found out, do you think that she would think that was sexy or stupid?
I don't know for Megan anymore, because she's blown hot and cold. In one hand, she says she loves Will. On the other hand, she's clearly falling for Daniel. So I guess it's going to... is she going to be sitting by his bedside feeding him grapes, which she doesn't need to? I
think the thing about Megan is that nobody cares about paedophiles. And so, not that they should, clearly, but it doesn't really matter. Nobody's going, we need to make sure that everything she does is logical and makes sense, and that she, her character is consistent. I think if anyone's going to be thrown under the bus for any reason, it's going to be Megan.
Yeah.
And it kind of, I'm not, I don't even know if this is how they're going to do it. I'm just assuming, but I would find that disappointing, because I think a character like that is interesting, because you never hear anything about them or what they think. And I've said many times before that even the most deplorable people, it's important to understand them and why they think the way they think, because if you ever hope to reform them or find out how to stop it from happening, you need to understand how their brains work.
I don't think that Corrie want to go that deep with Megan.
That's what I'm saying.
Exposure and out.
That's what I'm saying. And I also think that maybe they are very, very conscious to not ever make her likeable or give her any redeeming qualities whatsoever, or explain any reason why, because very often people you can trace it back to some abuse that they've gone through themselves.
But I don't think she's coming across as being unlikable. We all agree that what she's doing is unlikable, but she seems like a fairly... if you didn't know this was going on, I think, that's a fairly pleasant girl.
I don't think she is that pleasant. I think she's just pretty, and I think that covers a lot of evils.
Yeah.
But you know what I say about, what I mean about her? I find her very interesting, because I think it's important to find out what goes on in people's heads if you ever want to stop them from.
Yeah, I don't think we will.
No, I know it's not really Coronation Street's place to worry about that. But equally, nobody asked them to put a story about grooming a child in the show, and they did that anyway.
Certainly didn't. Shall we move on to the next story though? Feels like the Rovers we've stayed with a little bit too long at the moment, and there is plenty of other drama going on. Swarla la 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 la. Gemma, what has been going on over there?
So,
Carla is enjoying herself, sunning herself in Lanzarote, right? Living her best life.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, for sure.
It is, sure. So, she's messaging Lisa saying that she wants to talk finances when she gets back, and Lisa's devastated and tells Becky and Betsy about it, and she says that she went to go and see Costello, and he's starting to speak, and he's going to be transferred to a rehab clinic in the next few days. And Becky's like, oh.
Gotta get in there quick.
Betsy's on social media. She's obviously not got a lot to look at now. Costello's not uploading regularly. But she does see that Carla's uploaded a picture of herself. Well, you can see her legs or something like that. The caption is, living my best life. What a pointed comment to make.
I wish that I was one of the viewers who hadn't... I don't even know whether they were spoilers that I saw or whether it was just rampant speculation. But when Carla was revealed to have been kidnapped by Becky, I didn't have that. Oh my God. It wasn't surprising. I'd heard people talking about it, but I didn't know whether it was just theorising on it. So I've got no idea to what extent the spoilers were out there. But, you know, if they were going to be out there, then the Swarla fans would have torn them apart and blasted them all over social media.
Yeah, I'm just going to say something here. I have come off Twitter completely at the moment.
Temporarily.
On the Corrie stuff, and I'm going to stay off of it until Corridor, and I've told Michael to do the same, and he won't listen to me.
I like to live dangerously.
But I've seen far too many spoilers, and also, as far as I can make out, somebody's leaking entire episodes, and I don't know how that's happened.
I don't know whether they are. I think people are just getting synopses earlier than they should.
And telling everybody.
And it's very
frustrating for us because we, you know, we're privileged with information from time to time. And when people who are in that position spoil it, it makes it more difficult for other people, for everyone else, you know. I
saw one of the soap journalists, it might have been Chloe, I can't remember, saying, well, look, we're not allowed to talk about this. We're literally strictly under embargo here. And you're out there telling everyone about it because you've had this leaked to you. It's not fair on us.
It's hard.
And it's,
I've been in this situation.
Their livelihood relies on it.
But, you know, when you're a journalist and you are signing embargoes, you literally have... I don't think Corrie makes people sign embargoes, but they should do, probably. But, you know, we've had situations where both of us have had to sign, because you did some reviewing for me.
Yeah.
And you have to sign an embargo and to say, and they'll tell you very strictly what you're allowed to talk about, what you're not allowed to talk about. But if somebody
and when you can
steals that information or comes across it in another way, they've got no such restrictions.
No, and you can't just turn around and say, well, everyone else is talking about it, so the embargo is null and void now. It doesn't work like that, does it?
Not really.
So I don't blame you at all for coming off Twitter. I'm certainly being very careful with my scrolling at the moment because I do not want any of Corridell's spoiled for me. I really don't.
And I think it is only these characters that the spoilers are being disseminated quite as
prolifically.
Yeah, and so I'm going to say also that once this storyline's over, I don't think that this is going to continue quite as much as it has done.
No, I don't think so.
And that's no reflection on the vast majority of people, and it's seriously no reflection on people who are not professionals who are talking about spoilers, because you're allowed to, you know, you can say what you like. You're a fan and you're excited, and there's nothing wrong with that, and you've got no obligation whatsoever, and not everyone hates spoilers. So.
No, exactly. I don't, you know,
it's
annoying to me, but I don't blame them for doing it whatsoever.
But I'd be right in the thick of it if I didn't dislike spoilers.
I am very pleased for the few people who watched Monday's episode there. Was it Monday or Wednesday? Wednesdays, wasn't it? And got the surprise of their life when Carla was kicked squarely back into the closet by Becky, which is a great line.
She was being very rude, wasn't she? Okay,
I love Becky so much, I can't help it. I know everybody hates her. I think I'm the only person that watches it that's not saying, get Becky off the show, I can't stand her, I don't want her. I know that Becky's got a shelf life. I'm sure it's coming to the end of it. But I would be happy for this to run at the moment. There is not a second that Becky's on screen where I'm thinking, I can't stand watching this woman. I'm like, she's hilarious. She really, really is. Sorry. It's the same with Maggie. Everyone else seems to hate Maggie. And I know that sometimes the performance can be dialed up somewhat for Maggie. And maybe, when I was making the comparisons to Ivy earlier, you might say, well, Lynn Perry didn't go quite so over the top and theatrical as maybe Pauline does. But I don't care. I love her. I think she's great. I think both of them are. I just make an enemy out of myself. Sorry.
Well, I sense a lot of tension between Becky and Carla.
Do you?
The way they were talking to each other, they were being really rude. Passive aggressive. So, we've seen the picture of Carla living her best life. I want to see that picture again, because where was it taken?
I didn't even know that they had it on screen. Did they show it? Because I was busy typing away
in
my
my
notes.
head I've seen it, but maybe I've got
I know that I have seen some Swarla fans on Twitter photoshopping some
maybe
pictures.
they did
so
that. Maybe they did.
That. I don't know.
Right, so this is why I'm staying off Twitter.
So the thing is, though, was it Carla's legs? Or did Becky just find some random sexy legs next to a swimming pool? Would Lisa have recognised Carla's legs? I'm going to say I would have probably recognised your legs.
Yeah, I've got distinctive...
You do have a birthmark.
Yeah.
Maybe Carla doesn't. Maybe they're flawless. Not that I consider your birthmark a flaw, my darling. I'm just digging my own hole here, aren't I? Digging. I'm just saying I know you intimately.
Oh, God. Why are we talking about this? I was thinking of something else and now I've completely derailed.
Sorry.
That's all right. I mean, I do remember many years ago somebody making a joke post on social media where instead of a pair of legs it was hot dogs. But I don't think Carla's that tanned. I don't think she's ever really tanned.
No, if it was Kevin, for sure.
You wouldn't be able to tell the difference. You just tuck some dog hair on there. It's the same. Right, so Becky has returned to the hospital to look shifty. Obviously, she loves it there. But this time she's there specifically to menace Costello.
Yeah, she's there to intercept him en route to this. Where's he going?
Rehab
centre. That's right. Yeah.
So because we get to meet Sienna again, who is Asher's supervisor at work, who's a paramedic, and she is the one who's transporting Costello. And Becky introduces herself with her little, undercover cop badge.
I think I saw somebody said that she stole Lisa's ID. I didn't see that happen, and I've not been back to check, but it works the job on Sienna, doesn't it?
Yeah, she gets in the back of the ambulance and she says, look, not only am I an undercover police officer, but I'm also a trained paramedic, so no need for anybody to be in the back with me.
Yeah, this storyline is just so full of holes, honestly. But I was wondering, why is she the only person that's in there? Is she just say it's official police business?
Doesn't matter if he dies.
Okay.
In fact, it's good if he dies.
Yeah.
And they don't question it. Anyway, so Costello's alone with Becky in the back of the ambulance. It trundles away, and she's like, "I know all about your fancy house and your wife's name on the deeds. That makes her complicit in your crime. But if you, I'll keep it quiet if you keep your mouth shut about me." And she says, "Good. Enjoy your retirement, and I'll enjoy mine with my wife because it seems only fair." Well. Is that the end of Costello?
No, we'll see more of it. He's got to have his comeuppance at some point, hasn't he?
Well, he can't just have a nice life in Rhubarb Hill.
No.
So back at home, Betsy's telling Lisa that she should be posting exotic pictures of her own if they all go to Spain together. But I don't think that Lisa's that bothered at the moment. Then Sienna says to Asher, that police escort was a bit weird.
And I've seen some cruel comments on social media about that particular line there.
A bit weird. And Asher says, is this the only thing that we find out about Asher this week?
Yeah.
She says, I'm not ready to come back to work.
I think that Asher is going to be going back on that quite soon, I imagine.
On Wednesday, Lisa is still trying to call Carla and is going straight to answer phone. Becky's got her feet under the table. She's making hot chocolate.
Oh, bloody hell, that hot chocolate on Christmas Eve. Come on, you know what you were doing there, getting her to have cream all over her nose. So it's just right there for the Swarla fans, wasn't it? So cute.
This year, Lisa has had stuff on her face more than I've ever seen a character have stuff on their face. And it's getting a bit weird.
She's got no self-awareness, does she? Because you're referring to the paint in the...
I'm sure there was something else as well where she's like, aren't I adorable with my creamy nose?
I've got something in my facial area that shouldn't be there. Carla, would you be able to just brush it away gently for me? Or in this case, Carla wasn't available, so it had to be Becky, didn't it? Yeah. But did anyone else spot, because I didn't, Gemma did, the continuity area with the cream? I'm sure somebody did.
I bet they did.
First point that she had a bit of cream just to the right of her philtrum, and then you see a close up of her face and it's going right down the middle there. So hope somebody got fired for that blunder.
I know, what a mistake. What a Christmas mistake. So basically, while they're enjoying chocolate, Becky's slagging off Carla, sorry.
All my hard work has been undone.
Betsy tells Dylan that she's going to Spain, so she can't go ice skating.
That was weird, wasn't it? It's like, has anyone been hankering over the what's going on between Betsy and Dylan then?
Well,
are they going out?
She comes back home and says to Lisa that Dylan was hinting about getting serious, but she can't because they're going to Spain. And then Becky's like, group hug. And then she does this song where she's going to put you in the bag and shake you up and whatever it was.
It was clearly yet another callback to their previous life, which is all Becky seems to be good for at the moment.
Yeah,
just remember this.
When this happened.
Remember when we used to say this?
Lisa is very tense later and Becky gives her a massage.
I didn't know this was going to happen on Christmas Eve.
Becky says you need someone to take care of you. You've been through so much. You need to get rid of this negative energy. And then she's kissing
her neck. She kisses her neck, yeah.
And Lisa's like, no. And then she says, don't stop. And then we cut to, that was amazing. And Lisa looking guilty and Becky looking...
Why are you rushing through this?
Because I don't want to talk about it.
No, we've got to talk about this. This don't stop. There are parallels there to the don't get dressed, aren't there?
Oh.
Lisa, what are you doing? Again, okay. Don't want to be victim blaming here, but you're making it so easy for Becky. And I know you're being manipulated, but come on, you can't just say, not my fault, Becky made me do it. Some people out there are saying that because of Becky's hypnotic ways, Lisa was coerced into bed and that she couldn't actually give her consent to it. Sorry, she 100% gave consent to this. Yes, what Becky is doing is very naughty and she knows what she's doing and she is tricking her into bed, but at any point... I mean, she's not as far gone as Todd is at this point, is she? At any point, Lisa could have said, actually, no, sorry, Becky, I'm not dropping my drawers for you. I couldn't believe this. I didn't think it would ever go this far, did you?
I mean, they're on a break. That's the first thing. She feels as though... Carla's texting her going, oh, you know, we've got to sort the mortgage out. I'm not paying for a house I'm not living in, etc., etc. So as far as she's concerned, she is broken up with Carla.
I just can't believe that... She would do this so soon after that split up.
The R word is being used.
The R word is being used to describe what happened here. In my mind, that was not the R word because she knew exactly what she was doing. I thought it was bang out of order of Lisa. And I really, you know, Carla does know about it because Becky's crowing about it the next day, isn't she? But I'm sure the thing is, throughout all of this, she's going to go back to her. Everything's going to be fine. They will live happily ever after. Don't worry about it. But it is kind of making me think, well, hang on a minute, Carla. That's going to... Why would she at this point? Is it really enough for Carla to say, oh, I forgive you because Becky made you do it? If I was Carla, I would be having Lisa grovelling to get me back once this is all over and done with. And Becky is presumably 6 feet under. Or behind bars, maybe, you don't know. But yeah, I was very... I thought that... Yeah, very surprised that this happened. I didn't think that it would go this far. But made me love it all the more because I was watching it going, oh my gosh, and that's the sort of reaction I want to have when I'm watching Coronation Street, not the surprise, oh, we could see this coming. So although the Carla in the cupboard had been foretold to me, this one
foretold.
I saw it in the tea leaves. This one I definitely didn't. What do you think about it? Do you think that...
Am I allowed to say?
Yes!
Because you just been having a nice rant there. I don't want to...
It's not a rant. Was it? I don't know. What do you think?
When a character that you like does something that you don't agree with, you have 3 options as a soap viewer, and I've seen all 3 of these from Swarla fans online. First is to condemn them and sort of go off them. The second is to make excuses for them or reasons for why they've done this. And the third one is to say, well, it's, give it a bit of a Jessica Rabbit, I'm not bad, I'm just drawn that way. The writers have put this in, and perhaps in your head it's not exactly canon that this happened.
Yeah.
So that's what I think.
I mean, I will give some defence to Lisa in that, like I've been saying all along, I think I've been saying this all along, that you're going to have some deep, deep feelings for this woman who you were married to, who you had that life with. It's going to be really confusing for you.
She never broke up with Becky.
No. It's not like there's just this rando coming out of the woodwork and saying, hey, I've kidnapped your wife, fancy your fiance, fancy a bunk up. This is somebody who she's got very complex feelings and complicated feelings about. So there's a little bit of wiggle room there. But I just think that she needs to have a bit of a word with herself, does Lisa. And I think she probably is after it's happened, because she doesn't look like, Becky's there, full of the joys of spring, isn't she? But Lisa is certainly looking somewhat regretful after their session in the boudoir or the sofa or wherever.
She didn't break up with Becky, and she didn't... If Carla wasn't around, I don't think there would have been much to stop her from getting back with Becky.
No.
I think she was really hurt and betrayed by the fact that Becky went undercover, but then she's bought the story that Becky's told her about why she went undercover. So even though she's upset because of how much Betsy was hurt by the death of Becky, I think that's one of her major problems.
I think she could have got over it.
She definitely seems to have moved into... sort of moving on from that. So
she's saying no, and I think it's as soon as
she's not saying no. She's saying don't stop.
She's saying I shouldn't have done that. She's still saying I still love Carla.
Yes.
But I think that once the extent of what she's done comes out, surely when she finds out, and it can only be a matter of time, that Becky has done this to Carla and everything that's been going on with Costello in the past, surely.
Oh, I don't think it'll be a question.
She can't go back to her then. She can't allow herself to be tricked by her anymore. Like, the scales will be well and truly off.
And I know
out
that
of her eyes,
probably people are going to say that Lisa's having a bit of a character assassination here, and I can definitely see that perspective. But I think it's really important to note that even though they had this union, that Lisa is still saying that she loves Carla after that. She's still trying to get in touch with Carla. She still wants Carla back, and she's still deciding to choose Carla. So Coronation Street could have had her fall back in love with Becky 100% and move on from Carla in her mind, but they haven't done that, which is kind of interesting, but it does make it even more confusing.
But why she would
have sort of had that physical connection with Becky.
Yeah.
But she is... Look, I'm not...
She's only been in the show for a few years anyway. We're still learning about the ins and outs of Lisa, aren't we? And why and what sort of thing that she would do in any given situation.
I just think if you want any kind of discourse about this, you can find anything you want. Any opinion about this, you can find online.
Yeah.
Because there are about as many different opinions on this as there are Swarla fans. Everybody's got a different perspective, and as usual, a lot of it's to do with your own personal circumstances and what you've experienced in your life. And some of it is very heartfelt and, connected to deeply hurtful emotions and experiences that people have had. So I can see why people are getting really upset about this. Because if you've had, heartbreak in your life you're reading it into this story, you're going to get offended and upset when somebody else wants to just brush it under the carpet.
I think some people are really invested in the fact that this is another coercive control storyline. This is another issue storyline. This is about people being manipulated and abused. You're right. And then Corrie does a bit of a swerve ball and does something like this, which is 100% pure soap drama. But I've never particularly seen the story as being anything other than pure soap drama ever since literally somebody came back from the dead. So it's not bothering me so much. I've never really seen this as being something along the same lines as the Todd and Theo, for example.
I don't think that this is at all anything an issue storyline, and I think that I've said this before on the show that Coronation Street kind of plays with fire a little bit when it mixes issues and soap together.
Yeah.
Because when you and it's really unfortunate that concurrently running are two gay relationships where you could, one of them is supposed to be an issues abuse storyline and the other one isn't supposed to be, but the behaviours are similar in both of them.
You're right. It's almost like they need a little red flag on the screen, isn't it, every time that an issue story comes
take
on,
this
which
seriously.
is preposterous.
And then the next one's like, don't worry about this.
Just go back and enjoy the ride. Things are going to be okay at the end.
Becky massage you into a puddle. And don't worry about it.
It is. It's a bit like Coronation Street behind us, just kissing our necks gently and saying, don't worry, it's fine.
This.
It's fine. It's
this
good,
is
isn't it?
Just a laugh.
Drama, eh? For
it is, and this is not the first time I've said this. It won't be the last. I completely understand why they do issues-based storylines, because it feels like, number one, cynically, I think that it gives them an excuse to do some really, really sensational storylines, but hide behind saying, "Oh, we're doing it to raise awareness." And I forgot what this
and get awards.
Secondly, it's because it is really important, and it does genuinely do those things.
Yes, it does.
But when you're having, it's really hard as a viewer to sometimes discern between take this seriously and this is just a load of crap. And even sometimes in the same story with the same characters, elements of it are an issue and elements of it aren't.
Well, I think that I've as I say, I've not looked too far into the Corriedale press day interviews that came out over the past week or so, but Vicky, Ali and Amy were all talked to about this story, and I'm led to believe that some of them were kind of going down the route of, oh yeah, this is about manipulation, this is about control, and if you're kind of thinking, oh, this is an issue storyline, or this is something that's affected me in a similar way, then some of their comments might be good ammunition, because that sounds like you're attacking somebody, but evidence. That your view on the storyline is right, and then you're going to, from this, feel like the rug's been pulled out from underneath you.
Yeah,
but
this I'm viewing this in the same category as Carla being kidnapped by, or the Rob stuff.
Carla does keep getting kidnapped, doesn't
she? This woman needs a bodyguard.
She's the most kidnappable woman in Weatherfield. You're right. Rob took her hostage twice this year. Once in Ken's house and once in that wherever it was, the empty building. But she's been tied up by Tony Gordon in the past. She's had Tracy there when they went to that hotel that one time. At least Becky's doing a good thing and giving her a kidney medicine.
I know.
Which I'm glad they put into the script, because people were asking about that, weren't they?
We need to get this woman a panic button for Christmas.
Yeah, she does. She just needs like a rape alarm, doesn't she?
Next year, then.
Yeah, maybe. If anyone needs it, she does. There's just something about her that people just want to kidnap. She's the Princess Peach of Weatherfield, isn't she?
She is. Does that make Becky Bowser?
Well, about spiky.
Yeah, true. Very green.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Menacing,
move
but
over,
also
Jack Black.
Lovable. I wonder if Becky's good at singing. Anyway, so Lisa says outright to Becky that she loves Carla, because Becky's trying to say, look, let's carry on with our lives. I'll go slowly if you want me to. And Lisa says, no, I love Carla. And Becky's like, oh, complicated Carla. Not being horrible, but which one of us is here? And which one isn't?
Becky is kind of like, oh, I thought I had her then, isn't she? You can sense the frustration. Because if she's literally taken her to bed, at that point you'd be thinking, I've won.
Done deal.
And now then now Lisa is just saying, actually,
no. I mean, if you're Becky at this point, aren't you a bit offended? It is funny how Becky's not like trying to be like, oh, fine. Anyway, Lisa leaves Carla a voice message saying, I miss her, I love you, etc. Puts the phone down, and then immediately a message comes back from Carla saying, we both need to move on. And then it's revealed that Carla is tied up in the closet behind Becky, who is sending these messages pretending to be Carla.
The fiend.
Can't believe it. We can believe it.
Love it. Do you think Bowser does that and texts Mario from Peach's phone?
I look, you would know more than I would.
Yes.
On Thursday, Carla's still in the cupboard. Again, I always think about the logistics of this. She must be let out for a wee every now and then.
Yeah, I think so.
Do you know what? It must be a right pain in the arse keeping women hostages.
Why women?
Because a man, you can be like, oh, go in this bucket, can't you? But like, just wee in a bucket. Whereas women, it's like, oh, you got to take your pants off and everything.
Yeah, you don't want it stinking out the flat, do you?
No.
Yeah.
So she's still in the cupboard, and she's probably got a very dry mouth at this point, and she's probably annoyed because she's not having any nice Christmas food. I bet she's ordered some really nice stuff that's now in the fridge.
Also, Father Christmas probably didn't know that she was there, did he? So she's missed out on some good prezzies. I
mean, if Father Christmas... I hope nobody's listening who shouldn't be listening and is a bit young for this, but if Father Christmas were real, we would know because he would have delivered her present.
You can find her anywhere.
I mean, but has she been naughty or nice this year? I'm going to say a bit of both.
A little bit of both, yeah.
So Roy's messaged Lisa because he's rang the hotel that Carla's supposed to have been checked into, but she's never arrived. And Becky's like, oh, she probably just changed her mind. Don't worry about it. And then she's like, I've got to go and sort out Spain. So she goes and hang with Carla, gives her some food, gives her some medicine, and she tells Carla that she has to leave a voice message for Lisa, but Carla refuses. And then Becky's like, again, taunting Carla about the fact that she and Lisa had relations.
Well, this wasn't again, was it? I think this was the first time that we've seen it. Okay. So
Becky then
she said that we did it twice, doesn't she? And I think that the second time there was in her head because it was unbelievable enough the first time it happened, but seeing Lisa's reaction post bonk, I don't believe that she actually did go to bed with Becky again that night. Do you?
I don't
want to think about
speculation and the probability of getting myself in
who's Carla who would Carla believe? Because Lisa would clearly say, look, I did it once, but no more after that, I swear. And Becky was like, yeah, you did. We did. We were swinging off the chandelier, actually.
I don't know if
who's Carla going to believe?
I don't think this is ever going to come up in conversation.
I think it might do.
I don't. I think some kind of big event will happen with, stunty stuff, and whether it's going to be Corridell or whether it's going to be its own thing, I have no idea. But I'm just assuming there will be some kind of drama and rushing about and people being kidnapped and moving locations. And then Becky will get a comeuppance, possibly die, possibly go to prison, and then they will never talk about any of it again.
Let's just brush it under the carpet, say it never happened, and go back to being engaged.
Yeah. Well, no, they'll have a heart-to-heart, but they're not going to go through the nitty-gritty of, like, how many times did you guys get together?
Yes.
Anyway,
okay,
so Becky's trying to get her to do this voice message, rubbing it in about her and Lisa, getting it on, and then when she goes off, Carla grabs the phone with her foot and hides it, which is really clever. But unfortunately, Betsy, who has been a bit of a thorn in the side.
She's really trying, but she just makes things worse.
She's a bit of a bumbler, isn't she? She rings Carla, and Carla uses voice commands to answer the phone and put it on speaker.
I was really confused.
And Michael was bamboozled.
Because what does Carla say? She's like, mobile phone, answer. With speakerphone, and I'm like, it literally sounded to me like Carla was announcing to Becky that the phone was ringing and could she get it please, but no, because you can't have Siri or whatever the Android version of it is. It had to be mobile.
I think it's fantastic that the Weatherfield has a Siri or what's it called, Bixby, that can understand the northern accent, especially under such pressure.
It just throws me out of the universe a little bit when they use those off-brand.
What the hell? Oh, all right, whatever. I'm sorry, Carla. I can't understand your voice. What did you say?
Anyway, Becky hears Carla trying to answer the phone there, doesn't she? And
runs
intercepts.
over, puts a knife to Carla's throat.
Ooh,
and
what a
so
run-in.
Carla tells Betsy that she's fine and that she's staying in a different hotel, which she says is the Rhubarb Hill Hotel in the Blessing Suite. And Becky doesn't pick up on this.
No, well, she does. She asks her later, doesn't she? She says, what's going on with that funny hotel name? But I think...
She believes her when Carla says, I just had to think on my feet a bit.
It sounded... It's because it's a stupid name, isn't it? It sounds a little bit too obvious that there's a coded message there. Nobody just comes up with Rhubarb Hill Blessing. And, I mean, clearly, what we learned from this is that Becky doesn't know what Rhubarb Hill Blessing is.
It genuinely was just him talking.
Was it him babbling, which is what the nurse said? I still don't know whether there was more to it than that.
No, I think it's good because it obviously was, had some relevance to the story, and we were trying to work out what on earth that would be.
But isn't Betsy at this point going to be trying to track Carla down, doing a bit of Googling of Rhubarb Hill Blessing and find out, oh, hang on a minute, this is right in the middle of the crime quarter of Leeds. I don't know.
No, I don't think it really is, Michael. I think that people just found that on a map and it's coincidence.
Yeah, but what was the point of Carla saying that name? She could, plot-wise...
Because she's spoken to Lisa about it, and so Lisa knows that Rhubarb Hill and Blessing is something to do with Costello. Do you not get this?
Has she spoken to Lisa about it? I can't remember. I can't remember when she found out. Like, the blessing bit, she definitely hadn't, because the last time, when Costello said blessing to her, I think that was the last time that we saw Carla before she was spirited away by Becky.
Wow, we need a Swarla fan here.
We do, don't we? But no, I think there's going to be more to it than that. But it seemed a little bit clunky to me. A very, very clunky, obvious code.
It's a shame that Costello didn't start burbling in Spanish. Is that where Lanzarote is? Or that what they speak in Lanzarote? I don't know. I don't even know where it is.
Maybe.
So, I mean, the odds of them having Rhubarb Hill Hotel in a foreign country seems quite low.
I think it probably...
I don't think rhubarb's widely grown in Lanzarote.
It just doesn't sound like a hotel name, does it? Honestly. Anyway, I've never had a knife put to my throat while I've been tied up in someone's closet. So who knows what I'd say.
She did a really good job. Unfortunately, it didn't work because Betsy kind of instantly forgot what she said. So, Carla's like, look, I just had to think on my feet. Sorry. And Becky's like, Carla then admits that Costello told her, well, Carla lies to her and says, I found this hideout of yours because Costello told me what the address was. And Becky's like, no, he didn't. Yes. I'm getting confused there. Because
no.
Carla tells Becky that she followed her here. And Becky's like, no, you didn't, because I would have known, because I'm a really good undercover cop. So how did you find this? And then she says, actually, Costello told me where you live. I broke in. I was looking for evidence that you're bent. You caught me. I don't know why I'm explaining this to you, because you were there as well.
Don't know why I'm explaining this to you when we could just have a flashback, because they're all the rage these days.
Why don't we just flash back? And Becky's like, I don't have time for that, okay?
There's already another flashback that's happening in today's episode.
We can't have more than one, Carla.
Two flashbacks,
You're making me look stupid in front of everybody. So she found the burner phone with evidence that links her to the hit on Costello. And Becky's like, that's all I needed to know. Ties her back up again and goes home to bed her wife.
She's also probably saying, oh, I wish that I'd put a passcode on my burner phone. Unless she's got it as her lock screen. The evidence is right there. Or she's got it as a little widget that you can get to when you pull down. You can get into a few things without putting the password.
Temperature in Lanzarote, just to be able to do some good fake text from Carla, and also all of the a hot link to her uploads, like the Epstein files, but it's all just what she's been up to undercover in Curtis's gang.
Yes. So
Roy and Evelyn go round to Lisa's house, and I love this. This is great. Becky comes home and she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm the sister. I'm Kim."
That's a bit confusing because I I'm losing track of who thinks that she's that and who knows that she's Becky. Because I thought that didn't Carla kind of loudly announce that her name was Becky in public at some point a few months ago?
Tried to kill her.
Yeah.
Also, what does Becky think the long-term prospects of her and Lisa pretending to be sisters when she keeps canoodling her?
Yeah, this is true. Can't really be doing that in public, can you?
Maybe she'd be like, look, I was adopted. Okay. So it's fine.
I don't know. I just think it's ridiculous that she hasn't gone off to Spain yet. If you kind of believe her story, why is she still hanging around here?
I know, it doesn't make any sense. So, Lisa's trying to ring Carla, and Evelyn's like, you know what, maybe you should just let it go. Carla is clearly not cut out to be a lesbian. Most people aren't. I know I wasn't.
That was incredible.
That was like the line of the week.
Evelyn's delivery of all her lines this week was just on point. It's like, oh God, I missed you. I really, really missed you on the programme.
But do you not think it's better to have her sparingly, but brilliant?
That it was really, really good. And it's funny because it's like one of the few lines from like no other characters really have shown any kind of hang on a minute, Carla's a lesbian
they're
now.
Not intrigued, are they?
No,
they're
very, very accepting and progressive about it.
But it's not about being progressive or accepting, is it? It's like acknowledging reality.
Yeah, it's acknowledging it. You're right. And Evelyn is just openly saying,
she's like, well, maybe she's just changed her mind. We've all been there, haven't we?
It was so funny. It was brilliant. That was that little I know I wasn't lying. It's just left you dangling. Just let your imagination.
What are we going to find out? I don't know. Right. So
she's been to college. She's probably very experimental there, hasn't she? You know what Tracy got to when she was in prison.
She's probably literally talking about last week. We all think she's talking about the 60s or something. No, it was the other week.
Yeah.
Right. So on Friday, Becky is sort of rummaging around Carla in the cupboard, and so she gives her a swipe around the head.
Oh yeah, she gives her a slash.
Carla does, and they have again more tension. There really is something about these two. They don't like each other.
Do you think?
Yeah. Becky's like really mad at her and ties it back up again. Comes home to Lisa and tells her that the scratched face is from a feral cat called...
I don't remember what the
Haggerty
name was.
or something. On Tile Street. And then Lisa's like, oh, I'm going to wipe your face. And Becky's stroking her hair. Going, oh.
Again, Lisa, give her the plaster... Give her the Germaline. Get her to sort herself out. You don't need to do it for her.
You don't need to daub her wounds.
It's clearly what she wants.
I don't.
Even that recording that Carla made of Becky the other week saying, wahaha, I'm going to get her back. Like, well, you're going to be the one that has to talk your way out of this, Lisa.
I don't think she's going to have trouble. Think about how much crap that Carla's put up with from her various partners. This is just a blip.
Mm.
So anyway, she kind of like she says, I want us to work out, and Lisa says, I know you do, and then she buggers off, and Becky's thieving because she still can't get what she wants out of Lisa. I think what she's waiting for is for Lisa to commit to a relationship, and then she's going to sweep her off to Spain.
Mm.
But it does feel a bit like you need to make a move.
I think she needs to sweep her off to Spain first, because once she's got her there, then you can properly work your magic without any hope of Carla sort of sticking her nab in. Or anyone else.
Some Jerry Halliwell.
What,
singing a bit of Spanish.
Machico Latino.
Yeah, there you go. She'll love that. Get her right in the mood.
I don't know.
Get some sangria.
It's about a boy though, isn't it?
Look.
Don't need all.
I've never had to seduce her.
I love how your
policewoman.
That your one.
My one piece of knowledge about.
Who's slightly
who
Latino?
Who can speak Spanish? Who do I know that sings in Spanish? Anyone? Any actual Spanish
Jerry Halliwell
person?
did once
Anyone
or twice.
From the
Jerry Halliwell's
Latin...
mum's Spanish. Yeah, let's go for that. There's been no actual Spanish artist.
I was doing it for you, Michael.
Thank you very much for that.
I knew that you'd know what I meant.
Yeah, I know. I could have gone with Jennifer Lopez or Enrique.
I was just bigging Jerry up because she doesn't get enough credit for her bilingual talents.
I know.
Anyway.
I'd forgotten about this little bit at the end of the episode.
So she's seething, Becky. She goes out, she gets her phone out, she calls somebody up and says, oh, you finished already? You're faster than Santa's elves. And again, who can forgive her for this? Number one, Santa, not Father Christmas. Number two, using Christmas for evil. You're faster than Santa's elves. I know it was a weird one. I'm dead grateful. And we're all left wondering what nefarious deeds she's been up to.
I don't even know. I assume this is this Daz bloke again, probably. She doesn't get... Or is it Curtis? You know, there's still the possibility that... No, not Curtis. Curtis's cronies that she's still very much in with.
What do you think is... What do you think... Well, there's no way to guess.
There's no way to guess. There's still plenty of mysteries going on there. Like I don't believe that the Mason and Matt... Not Mason. What's his name? Matty and Logan angle of it's gone. They've still got that mysterious contact that the prison... That linked them in prison, the one that... I can't even remember what happened now. Because doesn't Logan get beaten up by somebody and said, our mutual contacts told me you've been a naughty boy and you've been blabbing your mouth? I don't know. But there's a whole lot more still to unravel here. I hope it comes out soon. I hope that Corriedale is the time when this can all just get blasted out of the water, because as much as I'm enjoying it, I'm ready for it to have a bit of a rest now and a bit of a resolution.
I think
New Year's resolution.
What it was that Becky arranged was for somebody to feed the tied up Carla pineapple pizza, because we know she hates it.
Does she?
Yeah, that's what they spoke about when they were talking about pizza before.
Oh, I missed that.
So, you know, sorry, it's a bit of a weird one, forcing a woman to eat pineapple on pizza, but, you know, it's Christmas.
Okay, maybe you're right. That's 2 Christmas pizzas in a row for Carl then, isn't it, after last year's delicacy?
She'll never be able to look a pizza in the face again, probably.
Right, blasting through to the next one.
What else are we up to?
We got loads. That was only the second story. Did we get an extra half an hour of Corrie this week? I don't even know. A Christmas Carol. So... This started off with the whole Elaine malarkey, didn't it, on Monday? We haven't got about that yet.
I think this week has been very good.
It's been quite eventful. It has.
You felt let down by Christmas Day, but do you think the rest of it has been fairly good? It's
felt, somewhat of an event week, a minor event week. So Monday's episode, we get to see Carl's bank app, and we learn that he's so far creamed about £11,000 off of Debbie over the last month or so. And he's also being a fairly pleasant father to Alfie, because he's going to take him off to see Father Christmas at the grotto.
Not father. He's not being his dad.
Well, look her after a significant man in life of. And they see Kevin, and she says, look, can I see Jack over Christmas? And he's like, oh, we'll see. And that ends up turning into her going over there for a bit on Christmas Day, doesn't it? Oh yeah, it's the stag do, wasn't it? God, this seems like so long ago, but a lot has happened. It was the stag do, hen do thing on Monday. James isn't coming to the stag do because he was in the programme for a bit last week, and that's enough for anybody.
Yeah.
Debbie gets a text from Elaine Carl's mum, saying we really need to talk about Carl. Ooh, I wonder what they could be wanting to talk about Carl about. This is... I'm sorry, because I feel like I've spoiled it for people on the street to talk shorts, but I feel like speculation is fair game here. We're not spoilerish, we don't know this, but
we wouldn't say it if we knew.
We wouldn't say it if we knew, but the growing theory is, and we've spoken about it before, that Debbie is going to be revealed to be the true mother of Carl. And as soon as we saw that message from Elaine, it was like, that sealed the deal. Surely that's what it was going to be about. But Debbie still hasn't called her back, and it was about 2 weeks since she first got that message, wasn't it? So she's been pretty bad, to be honest.
She has got an excuse for why she's forgetting.
Dementia. She's got a post-it note in her cupboard door, must phone Elaine.
She was going to do it the other day, and then she got distracted.
Maybe she's just a dreadful bore.
Oh, yeah, maybe she's one of these people that just yaks your ear off.
I wonder, if Debbie hasn't had much to do with Elaine over the last however many years, because of the whole, you're pretending to be Carl's mum, but actually it's me, maybe this is just a bit of an awkward conversation that you would want to put off. I guess.
No, she doesn't know why she needs to do it urgently.
No, she didn't know that she's on death's door, does
she? If you've got information that would make somebody... If you're really desperately need to speak to somebody, and you have a piece of information that would make it almost completely guaranteed that the person would pick the phone up right off, you should use it. And it's your own fault.
I'm going to say it's Elaine's fault for just not trying to phone her again. She tried to phone her the last time and left an answer machine message. But if I knew that I was dying...
I know.
Was she in a hospice, wasn't she?
Yeah, she's about to literally die.
She's hours away from meeting her maker, Tony Warren. Yeah. And then, I don't know, would you pick up the phone or would you not be able... Because you could also... I don't know what everyone else's experience of this had been, but 10 years ago, we were also spending a fair bit of time in a hospice with my mum, weren't we? Mm-hmm. And I think the morning that she died, I don't think mum would have been was texting or phoning anybody, was she?
No.
But maybe Elaine had a quicker snuffing out.
Maybe somebody just pillowed her.
Maybe they did. It is more efficient this way. Is she in Germany? I don't remember whether she is in Germany or not still. Or is she in Southampton? I lose track where the Websters are.
Look, my shift is about to finish, so you can either go now or wait until tomorrow.
I don't know.
And honestly, if you need the bed.
Anyway, what have we got? We learned that there's been this surprise hen do that the girls have arranged for Debbie, and she says she quite likes the idea, although she ducks out of it, doesn't she, to go off to Leeds. We get... Oh, there's that little scene... I've put it in here because it didn't come up anywhere else. But Jack and Liam show Susie this drone, don't they, in the cafe. And this is the drone that's got footage of Carl...
In the car that runs over Tyrone.
Yes. So, I mean, that didn't come out at all this week, but it feels like the house of cards that is Carl Webster is about to collapse spectacularly. So it wouldn't surprise me if this piece of footage doesn't get out there at some point over the next fortnight.
Yeah.
Bring him down. So the hen night starts up. They're at the hotel, of course. Where else? Abby's there, Sally's there, making her feel welcome because Abby's a bit sheepish about turning up. Who else is there? Bernie, Christina again, all the old gang are there.
Can we give the props to the wardrobe department for the costuming for this, because I thought it was fantastic. They were all dressed up a little bit like Debbie.
Were they?
Did you not know? I said this to you at the time.
No.
Have you not got... they were all wearing like fur
They were
trimmed...
wearing garish.
Yeah, and they all had massive earrings. That. Oh my God.
I'd like to give props to the props department for the cardboard cutout of Debbie and Ronnie that they had there. And that was quite pleasant for us because we saw that when we were at the the press day last month. And it was just funny because we were just doing our little undercover exploring there. We went into the police station and Debbie's cardboard cutout was just there in the doorway of the police station, wasn't it? Yeah. What on earth? The other one was round the side of the Rovers.
So pretty.
Didn't realise what it was for. And we didn't see the Ronnie cardboard cutout. So what's happened to that? But we definitely saw the two Debbie ones. Not that you'd know that there were two from the programme, but there were.
Now,
just in case.
Even though it hasn't been put onto ITV Reloved, there is already fierce competition to nab one of these cutouts.
See, I think it's a tricky one because they're not going to be posting that, are they? I'm going to say that if Debbie's cutout goes on ITV Loved, it's going to be a collect from Brixton kind of deal.
I don't know.
But equally, I think they're more likely to keep hold of it because they got that Tommy Orpington cardboard cutout, haven't they? They've been keeping hold of for a few years now.
There's more than one, though. There's at least three.
Three what?
Debbie's?
No, there's two Debbies.
Well, there was one in the police station.
Yeah, one outside the Rovers.
There was one lurking by a sink.
I think that was the one by the Rovers. Oh, I don't know. Doesn't matter.
It does to me because I want one.
I want the cardboard cutout, Debbie. I don't think we're going to be getting that. We've got our Summer's Robot, Gemma. You know, we have to quit while we're ahead here with our eBay pilfering. Okay, so Debbie's not there. She's away somewhere. The lads are all at the Rovers, dressed as Madness for some reason. They got their pork pie hats on and their sunglasses. Ed looks like he right fits in, doesn't he? There, he looked.
I also like the way they're hastily constructing a personality for Ronnie.
Ronnie likes Madness, of course he does.
Pork pie hats and singing and.
You're right. It was a bit of a. Ronnie has been in the show for 5 years at least now. We don't know anything about him. Yeah, why not this? Anyway, Kev's face falls when he sees that Carl's there and tells him to shove his pint. So they're all a bit miserable later. And Ronnie says, look, I'm going to get power of attorney soon so I can be in charge of Debbie's finances. And I don't think particularly anything goes any further with that, does it? It's something that's just thrown out there. Carl's face obviously falls when he hears about it, so he's going to be taking some drastic measures soon, I guess. We hear from... this is when This is when we saw Carl getting his mysterious phone call and the camera zoom, and then we see Abby getting a phone call from Carl and immediately scarpering from the hen do. Elaine's dead. Tragic. Another Corrie death. Elaine last seen in Coronation Street in 1984, I'm gonna say. Percy Sugden, she's with her uncle now, isn't she?
Sad.
She's there on a cloud with Uncle Percy.
Carl's
He's cooking his custard for her.
My mum is dead. Long live my secret mum.
There was apparently the woman who played Elaine died in her early 40s. I learned just a couple of days ago. So there was no chance of her coming back unless she was played by a different
they would
actress.
have recast.
I want to know who
anyway.
did her voice the other day when she left the message on Debbie's phone. They were never credited, were they? The last person to play Elaine. Doesn't even get a shout out.
Ghost.
Tragic. Anyway, Carl is proper gutted by this, as you would be. This is your mum. He's dead upset by it. He just wanted his chance to say goodbye. So that makes Debbie feel a little bit awkward earlier because she kind of robbed him of that. So he tells Abby about this, and he says, well, she wasn't the most loving of mothers. She wanted me to settle down and have kids. I never wanted any of that, though. He talks about a time when he was staying with her this is when he was talking about her living in Southampton, wasn't it? And he went to stay with her when he was 30, and then she woke him up one morning to go to the beach. Not really something that happens here in Southampton, I'm going to say, seeing as we haven't really got one.
No, Western Shore is technically a beach.
We've got a row of pebbles next to the sea.
Beach, and there are seals and things. But it does have a very spectacular view of the industrial port and their local oil refinery.
And it does have an ice cream van, so I can only assume that Carl was going along there. I don't know.
If you walk long enough, you do get to a ruined abbey and the hospital where Florence Nightingale worked.
Yeah. Also, just by that Western Shore is where old Christine, what's her face?
Hardman.
Hargreaves.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, Christine Hardman, actress. Yes. She did that filming of her drama there, didn't she, at one time? Anyway, we're digressing.
I really like Western Shore. I really, really like Western Shore.
So do I, but I just thought
it is not the most beautiful.
The picture that Carl was painting of, let's go to the beach in Southampton.
You can take some cracking pictures there, but you have to make sure you don't get the tyres
Maybe they were going to Leap, I don't know. Anyway.
Leap Beach is hours away.
She apparently talked to Carl about how he deserved more, and she once said to him, if he knew what happened, he'd understand why. So there's a little bit of a cryptic message that Elaine once gave to Carl. Again, it's saying that Debbie's really your real mum, isn't it? But I suppose I kind of wanted that to be a big reveal for Christmas. Maybe it's going to happen at the wedding. Do you think? It can't. I think in my head, I was like 99.9% certain. I'm going to say 100% certain that Debbie is Carl's mum now. And it's like, I kind of rather that they didn't go down that route, but
it's just too full of drama.
It's the soapiest thing ever. There's it's far too frequent now that people are being revealed as being the actual parent of someone when in real life.
It's also interesting because there are lots of characters on the street who don't actually have canonical parents. Like Chesney doesn't have one.
He doesn't have a canonical dad, no.
It's just too ripe for incredibly sad and maudlin. Like, will Debbie forget that she's told him and keep telling him, or will he then wonder, do I let her know that I know? You know, I thought depends on how long he's going to be in the show. Yeah. That's the first question.
When this theory was going around a couple of weeks ago, I thought that it would be a case of she's going to regressed quite a long way with her dementia, and then she was going to say it, and he's going to say, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But I think it's got to come out sooner than this.
The fact that they're
going, this is going to be revealed soon, surely. I hope so, because I don't like having a theory that's so clearly true. And I don't know if there's any kind of writers that listen to me saying this, you bloody idiot, Michael, that's not true at all. You got to go, we fooled you there. But especially if I've kind of spoiled it for people by my out loud confirmation of this theory in my mind. I just wanted to
we've both been saying
rip the plaster
and
off
so have
now.
Lots of other people.
I know, but not everybody always listens.
But don't forget, It's not a spoiler because we don't know.
We don't know.
It's the same as...
I'm just 100% sure.
Okay.
It's like the Andy Carver in the cellar.
It's just too perfectly delicious a like opportunity for drama.
It is, but I still will say I wish that it wouldn't. I wish they hadn't done it. It's the
same as now Becky's back. Will she and Lisa sleep together? Obviously, because that's the most dramatic thing. And don't forget,
I didn't see that.
Ian McLeod is still the executive producer, and his philosophy has always been do the maximum every time, get the most out of everything, go whatever you can think of, build that up.
Yeah.
And so whenever you're thinking of a situation, you've got to think of the most extreme thing, and that's probably where they'll go with it.
Yeah.
I don't think that's particularly sustainable for a soap, because it just means that when you don't go all the way, you're just disappointing people who have expectations that you've built up yourself. But hey, I'm not the executive producer.
No, but it all depends on, am I being the producer, executive producer, and knowing that I'm only going to be here for a little while and I'll run it dry while I can, and good luck to the next person, or do you want to be thinking about future-proofing
There's certainly something to be said for doing both, both approaches, because think about who was the Tram Crash producer?
Phil
Collinson knew it would be almost impossible for anybody to one-up him on that stunt that he did. He put everything he had. He didn't leave any room for anybody else to do anything. And that episode still goes down in television history as an incredible stunt.
Yeah.
Why would you hold something back when you're trying to make good television?
Anyway, we'll see, won't we? Debbie comes round and does a bit of comforting to Carl. They talk about when Carl asked her, when was the last time that you spoke to Elaine? And she said it not been since Bill died, and that was quite a few years ago now, Bill Webster. But yeah, she's feeling a bit guilty about it.
Who? Elaine who?
Tim's mum. No, I don't know. We got that Never Have I Ever game going on at the hotel that the ladies are playing. That was kind of... I found that the ladies' scenes on Monday didn't feel quite as natural to me as the ones a few weeks ago after Debbie's speech. I thought it felt a little bit forced at times, but I will admit that Sally was still on top form. What was the thing where somebody says, I don't know, but Never Have I Ever? I can't think of anything. And Sally's like, don't worry, I probably would have done it anyway, or something. It is quite funny, the idea that she's the most promiscuous lady on the street, hiding behind this veneer of respectability and ex-mayor of Weatherfield. But anyway, Debbie calls up and says that she's not coming along. Carl ends up in the pub with a free whiskey from Maggie, because she's lovely, really, isn't she?
Because his mum died.
Yeah, exactly. And when Debbie gets back to her flat and tells Ronnie she just had a bit of a wobble earlier, she says, look, honestly, Carl's not doing so well. Elaine left me a message recently and I forgot to tell Carl about it. And he says, look, don't worry, it's not your fault. You didn't know that she was going to die. And she says, well, look, just please, we can't tell Carl about this. He's never going to forgive me. Meanwhile, Carl is texting James asking for a bit of a booty call, which all kind of blows up in his face later on in the week. So we have a little bit of this on Wednesday, don't we? James is kind of sloshed in the hotel lobby because I think they couldn't get together the previous night, could they? And James is saying, well, how about today? But Carl's not really up for it. And he gets a bit physical with him, grabbing him by the lapels and says, well, actually, my mum died yesterday. And James says, oh, you're so full of secrets that they've got the habit of coming out, and I wish you would too. Quite a good line. We didn't get to see much of that.
I bet he was really proud of that, and he's like, Dad, I can't tell anyone now.
Cleverest thing that I've said.
I can't tell anybody how cool that was. I hope somebody recorded it.
Oh God, I really don't like this new James. I'm sorry. He's like, at least the last one, he was like, oh, you dope, you lovable dope. But I just don't think there's much lovable about this new incarnation of him, do you?
I didn't like his assertion on Friday that he wasn't cheating because he wasn't the one in the relationship.
It's true, but...
I think you are a cheat. I think you are a cheat.
I don't think you are.
Really? If you're with somebody...
He's just a cheat enabler.
No, you're a cheater as well. I'm sorry, but you are. If two people are in a relationship and then one of them decides to have, the two people are both cheaters.
I don't think it's a moral thing to do, but I don't know whether I would call it cheating from that person's point of view. Yeah.
That surprises me.
Well, there we go.
No, I don't blame them more than I blame the person who's in the relationship.
Okay.
But I think they're both cheats.
Anyway, well, that's at the end.
Maybe I've completely misunderstood. Maybe that what you're thinking is more widespread. I just had never even considered any alternative opinion that both of them are in the wrong and cheaters.
James is free and single as far as he's concerned.
I don't blame anybody who ends up in a relationship. You're not a cheater if you're in a relationship with somebody who's going out with someone else and you don't know. That's not cheating. As soon as you know that person's in a relationship, you're a cheat too.
I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about this later.
Well, that lets me off the hook.
We're running so late with this. Hope you don't mind. But Thursday's episode basically boils down to James and Carl get it on while Abby's over at number 13. And then she's a bit of a cowbag to Kevin, isn't she? By saying, look, I can't stay here and play Happy Families.
He just says, do you want to watch the Polar Express? And instead of saying, no, it's uncanny and strange.
So I was going to say, I just can't
kill myself.
That CGI Tom Hanks is just freaks me out. Sorry. She's like, screw you, Kevin, I'm going back to Carl. And
she says, my boundary is too confusing of a boundary.
Yeah, so we didn't even get to see any of Jack on Christmas Day, did we? So she kind of leaves Kevin in the lunch, poor guy. And I was really hoping that she was going to walk in on them, and I thought that she would, and I kind of built that up because, like I said earlier on, I wanted there to be more explosions from the long-term storylines on this, and this was the perfect opportunity, but they decided to leave it a couple of other days. So while they've been tearing each other's clothes off,
I hope they're going to make it worth our while to wait.
I hope so. Carl and James have been tearing each other's clothes off, but as soon as Carl sees, he's rehydrating himself in the kitchen, isn't he, after a full-on sweaty sesh in the boudoir. And then he sees Abby's message saying, I'm coming back. And he's like, bloody Nora, James, get your kit on. You got to escape. And he manages to put Abby off by getting her to go to the car to get his phone charger. And yeah, so he dodges a bullet. And I was, just a little bit disappointed by this. But she does find this necklace on the sofa, doesn't she? The clue that will eventually lead her to suspect that there's something dodgy going on with James in the next episode. He says he found it down the side of the sofa, so it must be whoever lived here last. Lauren? I don't know. But anyway, they go for a bunk up themselves. He's well up for round 2 with a different person, it's Carl. So Friday is when it all hits the fan a little bit, well, at the end of the episode, because Carl returns this necklace to James, but Abby notices in the cafe that Michael is wearing a similar necklace, and she's like, oh, what's going on there then? I recognise that. And he says that Aggie, their mum, got it for him and James. She's like saying,
for Christmas.
Okay, what's going on here then?
Wow, your mum really doesn't know you.
Why?
Bulk buying the same item for all your children just screams, I really couldn't
Distant parent.
I couldn't care less about you. I've just bought 3 of the same thing.
She probably posted it just together with unwrapped and then stick a photo of her legs next to a pool saying, living the best life. There's no wonder you've not heard from me since I mysteriously disappeared the other year. Anyway, so Abby is takes Carl to one side at home and says, what is going on with you? You must be doing something
with James.
Something dodgy with James here. See, I wondered. No, actually, I didn't wonder. But had Dee Dee still been around then, I would have thought that maybe Abby would have jumped to the wrong conclusion that possibly Carl was having it off with Dee Dee, thinking that maybe she got the same necklace as well. But you're not going to jump to the conclusion, are you, that your boyfriend is at it with another fella? So she immediately thinks, there's something dodgy going on here. I want to know what. And he spins the lie that he's still going on with this funny car stuff that he's doing, and she's fuming, saying, look, we're trying to live a legitimate life here and you're still selling dodgy cars. How dare you? You've got to stop this right now. And he's like, I promise I will. So Tracy is kind of partly involved in this today, isn't she? She sees the whole thing with the necklace, and she also sees Abby with James in the booth. I can't remember what happens there, but eventually it leads to Tracy and Abby sitting together and saying, well, Carl's probably up to something, you know what he's like, because she knows about James, doesn't she?
Yeah.
She's just kind of just gently stirring things and hoping that there's going to be a little spark or something that's going to explode that she's going to be able to warm her hands on. And Abby says, look, don't worry, everything's sorted with me and Carl. I know what's going on. It was just you don't need to know, Tracy. At the end of the episode, though, and this was my highlight for this story of the week, we get the moment where Carl's there snoozing away in Abby's lap. She's got his phone saying, oh, darling, can you just open your phone up for me? I can't remember.
Change the music.
I'm going to change the music that's on, that's it. So he kind of dozily puts his code in. Then she starts looking through his text messages and gets somewhat of a shock when she's expecting, I assume, to see what exactly dodgy car deals that he and James have been getting up to, but gets a bit of a surprise when he finds can't stop thinking about us, try a cold shower, I want you so bad, 4 times in 1 week, greedy boy, I've told Abby you said no to the car scam, back me up please, and she's good gasping there. It's like a
uh-oh.
And there was still 3 minutes left of the episode, I think, at that point. And I'm like, yeah, show me more of it. But no, we ended up having the Maggie flashback at that point. But what do you think that Abby's going to do next? Is she going to sit on this one?
Is
she going to do a bit of investigating herself?
Who blew up someone's car.
Yeah, she didn't
I want some of that old Abby back.
I think that Carl really needs to face the full-on wrath of Abby here. But
I'm quite excited for this fallout.
Your whole brain's going to be scrambled by this, because you thought it was one thing, and now you're like, what? My boyfriend, who's never shown any hint of being attracted to the opposite sex, is this? It's
the same sex.
The same sex, exactly. The opposite sex as me. Is she going to go? Is she going to maybe ask Debbie, or is she going to?
No, I think she's going to keep this under her hat. She's going to try and find out more information, and she's going to try and destroy him. The
thing is, James made it very clear in today's episode that he's got no intention of going back to that well again. I mean, he's probably said it before, to be honest. So if Abby's just going to kind of sit tight and wait to see if they have another hookup, I think she's going to be waiting for a long time. But she needs to take decisive action here. And cut his balls off, really.
Yeah, wait for him to go to sleep.
He's already there.
Yeah, that's true.
He's already there.
Get your special knife you got for Christmas.
Yeah, and chop him right off.
That's a paring knife.
Yeah. I'm glad that this has come out now. This relationship has just been horrid this year. This is your chance, Abby, to redeem yourself in my eyes. And I know you don't act because of, to try and win my favour, but I have been a long-term Abby fan. Had a bit of a dip in 2025. If you take full revenge on Carl, I may well forgive you and go back to loving you again. So just keep that in mind. I mean,
that's, what a fantastic character dangle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, Gemma, happy Yule, Todd. There's not really been much that's happened with Todd and Theo. We mostly just got to see what they get up to at Christmas, didn't we? I don't think I'm going to say there's any major plot developments here. Do you want to have a quick rundown of that one?
It was a sad Christmas.
Go on.
All right. So, this is Christmas Eve. Theo is having Todd put up this really tacky Christmas picture that he said is his granddad's.
That's
with
horrible.
His glow-up street lamps, and he's heckling him and making him nervous and telling him he's doing it wrong.
The whole of the week is just him getting a few sly digs in, isn't it? And Todd having to try and let it brush off him.
Okay, and I've seen some people still finding it difficult to put themselves in Todd's position here, and finding it hard to know why he's staying with Theo, even though the mask's really off here. Theo is very unpleasant to him a lot of the time. The percentage of nice to horrible is definitely in the favour of being really horrible. And I'm just going to say that I know a lot of people have had experiences with this, and there's a lot of information about abusive relationships, but I don't blame anybody who still can't quite put themselves in Todd's situation here. I don't think it's about. I've seen a lot of people being quite rude about people who don't get it, and I think we've got to be really patient, because I genuinely don't know that this story is really putting us in Todd's shoes as much as I would have hoped it would at this point.
Yeah, you said earlier this week, didn't you, that you weren't as into it as you would like to be.
No, I didn't say that. I said, and this was supposed to be a private conversation, I don't think that, but I'm going to say it anyway, I don't know that they are doing the story. I feel as though it's still difficult to understand Todd's perspective. It feels, and I don't really know why, but I just want everyone to be a bit patient with each other, because I've seen some people get really upset and make some very rude comments about anybody who doesn't get it. Just remember that this is just a fictional story, and you can only see what you see that the writers have put on screen.
Yeah, it's not bothering me in the same way. I'm
not bothered particularly, because I know what they're trying to say, but I'm a bit frustrated that it doesn't feel as apparent
why Todd's not doing more about it.
And the thing about it also is that there are certain things that people are super resistant about learning about, or they have no patience for. And I think abusive relationships are definitely one of those things. I think that people, it's not that they always don't want to understand, it's just very difficult. And I just think that it does feel a bit like, not exactly the same, but like with Sean's homeless storyline, where it felt as though there was a snap your fingers and it would all be over. Like, acknowledge the problem and you could get out of the situation. And it does feel, unfortunately, as though you could argue that Todd is in that same position. It doesn't mean to say that people in abusive relationships can do the same thing. And it's not to criticise anybody who's been in an abusive relationship, and you shouldn't take anything out of it, except to say that perhaps this storyline hasn't accounted for the reasons why Todd is staying, as well as it could have done to explain it to people who genuinely don't know.
No, I get that. That makes sense.
I just, we've got to be patient with each other, and you just got to acknowledge that it's still an issue because it's not well understood. And I don't know that this is helping. I'm not saying it's harming. I'm not saying it's harming anything. I'm just saying that I know the people that watch this show, and they are really lovely people, and I'm not talking about anyone specifically. So don't read into anyone we know who said this, because I'm being vague on purpose. Who are very lovely, but also have not had this experience, who've watched these scenes and are saying the same thing. Why doesn't Todd just leave?
Well,
I'm just saying.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I'm going along with it a bit more, but I totally get what you mean and what
I'm not saying.
People would
well,
say that.
I'm not saying particularly that I feel that is definitely how I feel about it. But watching it and having heard people say I don't get it, I can totally understand why
they don't get it.
They are saying that. Yeah. And it's not to say that James Cartwright and Gareth Pierce are not doing a fantastic job, and it's also not to say that the writers and the storyliners aren't working really hard on it. I just think that it is such a difficult thing to understand, and I think that some of the people who've been through it would acknowledge that perhaps their understanding of it really only came from going through it themselves.
Yeah.
Anyway,
what happened?
I'm sorry, I just wanted to say that.
You go for it. Go
ahead. I hope that everyone could be a bit more patient with each other. So he digs. Yeah, Theo's digging, and then he gives him Todd a massage, and then Todd's saying it's not going to be the same without Eileen, and then Theo starts slagging Eileen off, and he's being very rude about her. And
well, he says you only used to complain about her. What do you mean? We don't.
No, but he calls her names.
Is it? I can't remember. He says that it's going to be just lovely, just being the two of us.
Todd says that, but then Theo goes to the shops, comes back, and says, "Guess what? I've invited Billy, Summer, Christina, George, Glenda, and they're all excited because you're doing the cooking." So again, another pulling the rug out from under him.
More last-minute invitations for Christmas lunch as well. All these people, Daniel, Alia, Adam, they're probably all... what should we do? Should we just leave it until December the 25th and see what happens?
I know, it's like, we don't have any plans, we haven't bought any food. I tell you what, though, these are definitely the people that end up in a supermarket on Christmas Eve at
scrum.
4 p.m. going, help me, I forgot that Christmas was tomorrow. So on Thursday, everyone's seated around the table and everyone loves Todd's moist breast. What a great job he's done. Excellent work. I'm sure that he followed some good techniques there
Sure he did.
to roast it in a most excellent way. Summer has bought him a very thoughtful gift, which is tickets to a retrospective of Andrew Scott's work.
I don't know who this is.
Todd fancies him. I've told you who he is. You watched a movie with him the day before we saw this.
He was in the new Knives Out film, yes. You told me. But he's played a hot priest in something, is what we're supposed to be getting from this. And Theo's not particularly happy with the fact that Todd is lusting over one hot priest, so why not Billy?
Well, exactly. So Theo kind of like broods and hangs around by himself while everyone else is playing charades. And it turns out that he's trying to call the kids, but they're not answering.
Oh, millions.
Because they're abroad, aren't they?
Oh, yes, they are, yeah.
They're probably in Lanzarote with Carla.
I thought they were in Tenerife.
Well, it's all the same to me. Todd then puts his hand on Theo's hand to sort of, comfort him. Then he bats it away and it sends a glass flying across the floor. And Theo acts like it's his fault.
Todd's fault.
Yeah, and sort of when everyone looks over, he's like, "Oh, Todd, you drunk
you klutz, yeah, you've had a few too many to drink, yeah." Making himself look like the nice guy, and Todd's just he's got no choice but to take it.
Yeah. Now, even though they knew that Billy was a vicar and it's Christmas Day and he has a service, they decided to eat without him and not wait at all. And then when he eventually turns up, he just opens his presents. And then Theo starts yawning, and then they kind of like they get ushered out. So Christina says, "Oh, we'll all go to the Rovers," and Theo says that he and Todd will stay there.
Yeah, Theo making the decision again for Todd.
Yeah, and so Todd's like, "Oh, thank you, Theo," and Theo says, "Oh, yeah, well, thank you for being your authentic self. It can't be easy. What with your various issues."
Yeah, he asked Todd whether he was being sarcastic when Todd said, "Thanks for being nice to me," and Todd's like, "No, I wasn't, honestly."
And then it's all just really awkward and
because Todd is treading on eggshells, not know everything he says to Theo. What's the reaction going to be? How's he going to take it? How's he going to act like he's taking it?
So on Friday, Theo is like, "I've booked us a mini break for next month at this fancy hotel," and Todd's like, "Oh wow, oh hang on, this is the exact date that I'm supposed to be going to this film festival that Summer's arranged." And Theo starts sulking, saying, "Oh, you're not going to get the hot priest scupper our mini break." So Todd has to tell Summer later in the pub that he's not going to this Andrew Scott thing. I wonder if Andrew Scott will hear tell of this.
Yeah, I am hot.
Well, he knows he's a hot priest. I mean, I wouldn't say he was hot, actually. I assume he's not listening to this.
He's a tepid priest.
Do you think Andrew Scott's like, "Gosh, I got mentioned in Corrie. I bet all the podcasts are going to be talking about me. I'm just going to fast forward through, 3 hours of this crap? No, I'm not going to bother with it, to be honest with you." Anyway, so Billy finds...
Knives Out film was very good.
I kept falling asleep at the end, though, so I'm not exactly sure why...
It was a bit long, wasn't it?
It didn't need to be that long.
I enjoyed it, but a bit lengthy.
But, the only character I can think of really to cut out would be Andrew Scott, and who would do that? Anyway, Billy finds Todd outside the shop later, and he's having a go at him, going, "You blowing Summer off for this mini break? When did you become so detached? It's because of Theo." And Todd is very defensive about Theo specifically, and tells him to butt out.
He tells him to bore off. So Theo's,
you sexy priest.
Theo's poison that he's dripping into his anti-Billy poison seems to be working, and I mean, if you're Todd, you're thinking Theo could very well be watching me at the moment. I'd better say this to Billy. Poor old Billy. I'm having a cry. Oh well, he'll get over it. Festive platter. What's been going on with the Platts? Very little. We had that annoying antenatal scene. We just got to blast
hang on.
through
People who like this. People did like this.
Did they? That
people
woman
found it funny.
Sophie. Is it? That's his antenatal teacher. She was far too OTT.
No, some people found it funny.
I don't care
it wasn't
what the people
too
thought.
far off of how Mary at her most exuberant.
Well, maybe that's what I didn't like about it. But when she was there doing her exuberant breathing. I just thought, no, sorry, this isn't doing it for me. But anyway,
I thought it was quite funny that they had the classic Christmas confusion. It reminded me of that scene in Love Actually where Colin goes up to the lady at the wedding reception and says, "This food is terrible. What do you do? I'm a caterer. I cater weddings, or you should have turned this one down. I didn't." And that was kind of
classic Christmas cliche, that was, wasn't it? And David gets volunteered to try the little electrocutor on his back. It was just utter filler, that was. But you know, I do love a bit of David and Shona, so I will be charitable towards it. And nice, wasn't the worst thing that I watched this week. And then we had. I was a little bit disappointed because when they had the Thursday, the Christmas Day. Situation where David's Christmas present had been left out and he couldn't find it, I was kind of hoping that would be a thread that would be trickled through the Christmas Day episode and just going around different people's houses and finding out, oh, was it left on yours? And then just him inserting himself into various people's stories or non-stories, because he does that thing where he goes around to the Metcalfes and says, this looks like your front doorstep that it was left at. Well, it's not. And that was kind of it.
Kind of like when Hugh Grant goes down the road looking for Natalie.
A little bit like that.
And he ends up.
Can you tell we watched Love Actually
across
the other day?
Some other characters.
Yeah, they should have had that, but they didn't want to because they were too much Maggie scenes that they wanted to put in. But yeah, a bit of a missed opportunity there, I thought. And there's no big payoff, is there? Bethany finds it. Oh, it's just been put out the back, and that just made me think, well, why didn't they recognise it then? So that fell a little bit flat for me, as did, I'm going to put my head above the parapet here.
Well, I've got my sniper rifle ready and locked.
Gail's Christmas Day appearance. Yeah. In fact, no, I'm just not going to talk about it. Yes, I will. I'd say it was very, very... Oh, gosh, look, it wasn't the best, was it?
He decided to do it.
It was nice to see Gail.
It was a very Gail video.
It was very.
It needed to be a bit sped up, maybe.
Oh God! Look, I don't want to say anything. It was pants. Moving on, Sally.
That's not an official opinion of the podcast.
If we hadn't been going 3 hours into this podcast at this point, I could go to town about how that was just utter naff. But I don't want to feel bad. I don't want to be grinchy and scroogey about it.
Well, you just said Grinch.
I know. It was...
Look, you've said what you wanted to say. You're not going to be the only one, as usual.
I would be perfectly happy for last Christmas's scene where she goes off in the car with Jesse, for that to have been Gail's final appearance.
I don't understand why it was in this episode in particular.
She doesn't even say anything of note. She's just like, "Oh, everything's gonna be fine."
It felt like a wasted opportunity to do something kind of special. I don't think she's not been in it so long that we missed her desperately.
No.
And also, but it did make me laugh because it was such a Gail thing. Like, why didn't you just video call them so they could talk back to you? And she's like, no, I don't really want to talk. I don't really want to talk with them. I just want to talk at them.
I totally see Corrie saying, "Oh, you know what would be nice? Having Gail on."
Yeah,
remember Gail?
And then
everyone loves Gail, don't they?
I think they thought of it before they must have thought of it before they even knew what the plot was going to be, and then they must have gone, it doesn't really fit or is needed at all. But
they might as well have just said, Helen, can you just ad-lib something over a video? You go on. And she's like, yeah, I can do that.
Do you know what it reminded me of a little bit?
Give me $100,000.
It wasn't exactly like this, but it reminded me a little bit of the first ending of Neighbours, when they obviously got the actors to do video messages.
Yeah, it was.
And they were all just that they weren't in character at all. They
supposed to be in character, but a lot of them weren't.
Bye, it's been so good working with you. Good luck in your pantos or whatever you have.
Natalie Imbruglia, I mean.
It reminded me of
For anybody that loved Gail's appearance on Christmas Day, I apologise for poo-pooing it. It was pants. Gemma, Sally this week had a little bit of a prison action, didn't she, with the girls?
Yeah, they've got this plan to make it special for the kids, which involves them going to outside of the women's prison, which really looks a lot like the men's prison, which also looks a lot like the ITV studios.
I don't remember, it's always been used as the men's prison, hasn't it? I don't know whether it's been used as the outside of the women's prison before, but it is literally identical. They could have just gone around the back entrance or something, couldn't they, and said, oh, well, this is the way you get into the women's prison.
Because I tell you what, the back of the studio set looks a lot more like a prison than the front.
It is, because you have the little gate.
Yeah. So anyway, they jump up and down and wave a banner
in the rain,
and they're shouting, and they're not really shouting anything specific. They're just going, oh yeah. And it reminds me of when I watch you play Zelda, and there's like a character stranded, and they're waving and jumping up and down on the spot, going, hey, whoa,
yeah,
hey. And then you have to go over and press A.
No, press Z to target them, and then press A.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm rusty.
It was. Anyway, I thought it was quite sweet.
They wave and wave and wave, and then they go home and so they're like, oh, as long as they think it happened, as long as they think she saw it doesn't really matter. And then Lou phones them up and goes, yeah, I did see it, hooray.
But we don't see Lou because they'd blown all their returning budget on Gail, clearly. So,
yeah, they were like, we can't have more than one video.
No.
I honestly would say, I think it would have been more interesting to have seen Lou.
Oh, 100%. I would have loved to have seen Lou.
Than Gail. I think Gail's just not been gone long enough for it to feel like an incredibly meaningful addition.
I'm saying nothing more.
You started this and now you're leaving me to dangle.
If anybody else would like to share their opinions, positive or negative,
I would like to hear
Gail's
some
Christmas
people
Day appearance,
say they liked
please
it
do.
For balance.
I've not heard anybody say that they didn't like it.
Well, then we're standing in our truth.
How are we scoring this week's Coronation Street festivities, Gemma? After this mighty breakdown of everything that went on.
I tell you what, some really good, really, really great. I think I said banging for every episode, maybe. I don't know. I really enjoyed this. I get what you said about Christmas Day. I
not enough big revelations or shocks for the long-term stories.
But I think as a whole, the week was really strong. So I think I might give it 4.5 lesbian ranches because I love that.
I'm gonna, or lesbians on a ranch, maybe.
I think there have been quite a few movies that you probably wouldn't want to watch with your family that have been made with that exact title.
Oh gosh, when we were watching that Knives Out film with your parents the other day, there were some very rude bits at the beginning of there, weren't there? And I was doing a bit of a cringe with your mum. But she has, over the years, she's obviously got a little bit more, or less caring about that, because she didn't apologise for it at all, did she?
She used to always apologise when somebody swears. But I tell you, the funny thing is, we deliberately watched Love Actually before going over because that's excruciating as well because of all the sex scenes in that.
Oh, there's only a bit.
I don't like watching Love Actually with family.
Right, I'm going to give this, talking of sauciness, 4 charges of Sally's batteries out of 5. Not those batteries.
No, not
Jodie's toys, of course. My character of the week this week, I don't know whether Maggie is the obvious one, although for lots of people, clearly Maggie was not the favourite character of the week. They absolutely hated her. I'm torn between Maggie and Becky, to be fair, which everybody, they've got them on the dartboard, haven't they? I think the character that stood out the most and made the week for me was Maggie, so I'm going to go with her. Like her or lump her.
Maggie is your character of the week. Interesting.
She was the queen of the week for me.
This is difficult.
For good or for bad.
Because I do think that it was all spread out across lots of different ones. Normally I just default to Debbie, but she wasn't in it enough.
She was barely in it this week. You can't go for Debbie.
I'm struggling.
You got your Eva, you got
all
your Daniel.
All the people that had the main...
You got your Ben.
The main starring roles were all kind of quite negative, weren't they? Because Maggie's.
It wasn't a happy Christmas in Weatherfield.
It was not.
That's why I kind of hope that the David missing presents saga could have gone on for a little bit more, just to balance out all the misery that was going on. And I know that Gail's message was positive, and I just said, what a load of rubbish that was.
So who did you give? Who did you?
Maggie.
Maggie.
Yes.
So you were going to think of doing Becky.
Well, Becky was a possibility. I thought that she was quite fun.
It's really tricky. But I think I'm going to give it to Evelyn, even though she had such a small role.
Good point, good pick.
But I was so happy to see her, and she did
that
not
is a
disappoint.
very strong pick. I almost wish I'd gone for that myself, but I'm not going to go back. I'm going to say Maggie still.
Always do chronologically. Your life is the best way to live it.
Right, that's This Week in Corrie.